Chapter 47-46. When the sharp long sword stabbed Guoran in front of his chest, a breastplate appeared in front of Guoran's chest and blocked the sharp sword. On the breastplate there are dense scales. It is Guoran's hidden dragon triple armor, but I don't know what method Guoran used to condense it into a breastplate. When the long sword stabbed Guoran's armor and sparks splashed. The weapons of the life-hunting family have always been known for their sharpness, but there was not even a trace on Guoran's scale. Just when the strong man of the life-hunting family was shocked, Guoran's colorful saber was cut off silently. Boom! With a bang, the king and strong man of the life-hunting family waved his sword to block it. As a result, the sharp long sword was cut and exploded by Guoran. Puff puff. Countless sword fragments passed through the man's body and were immediately stabbed into a sieve. Your weapons are more than sharp and less tenacious. They are hard to carry on the front and are vulnerable to attack. Guoran sneered and waved his left knife. Buzz, the color-long knife vibrated, and a knife shadow shot out from the color-long knife. "He'll go. He stole our tricks." The evil moon screamed. "I didn't steal learning. I taught him before. He created a new beginning through his own understanding and perception." Dragon Dust shook his head. When he was in Tianwu mainland, Long Chen taught Guoran Kai Tian 9 moves. Of course, Long Chen knew that with this guy's laziness, teaching him was tantamount to casting pearls before swine. However, Long Chen hoped that he could integrate the move into his creation. In fact, he had mastered it when Guoran first met in the Morluo star domain. However, at that time, Guoran mastered only a trace of fur. With his understanding, he integrated the tricks of the world into the laws of the fairy world. Later, Long Chen personally instructed him, but since he found that he had a backer, he began to become careless again. It seems that he hasn't made any movement after the first day of research. Now, when he performed the art of opening the sky again, even Long Chen couldn't help but look at it with admiration, because this guy's knife also integrated the power of dragon blood. That is to say, this guy didn't know what method he used to persuade the lazy dragon to cooperate with him. Hiss! The shadow of the knife broke away from the colorful long knife and tore the void. The holy king and strong man was cut by a knife and immediately turned into fly ash. With the strength of a knife, the power did not decline, and went straight to the strong ones of other holy kings. The strong ones of the holy kings were shocked and hurried to resist. Boom! Several people resisted together and blocked the knife. However, their breakthrough potential was completely disrupted by the knife, and the formation became loose for a moment. "Get out of the way and leave these guys to me." Guoran stabbed a strong saint and disrupted the formation of the other party. It was the best time for everyone to take action. At this time, Bai Zhantong rushed back murderously. "Everything!" the white exhibition hall roared. Suddenly, the monster behind him opened his mouth and a scarlet tongue shot out. Puff puff! The monster's tongue suddenly separated and turned into a sharp sword. At that moment, time and space were still and the law was solidified. Even Long Chen and others felt that they could not move for a moment. Those Saint King level strong men were killed by Bai Zhantong. At that moment, there was a dead silence between heaven and earth. After half a breath, the bodies of Long Chen and others recovered their freedom, while Guoran and others looked at Bai Zhantong in shock. His move was too terrible. If it was aimed at them, it could not be stopped at all. "What are you doing?" After the shock, Bai Xiaola shouted angrily that the scene had been controlled. It was time for them to show their skills. As a result, Bai Zhantong shot to kill the other party at this time, which made Bai Xiaola very unhappy. He also wanted to test his new baby. Bai Zhantong killed all the powerful kings with one blow. Finally, he took a bad breath and saved some face. As a result, he was called by Bai Xiaola and was immediately embarrassed. "Xiaola, how can we play with the enemy? This is not a toy. They are all terrorist killers. Kill them early, more peace of mind and less variables." Bai Shishir said. "Sister?" Bai Xiaola was stunned. Even if he was stupid, he knew that Bai Shishir was talking to Bai Zhantong. Bai Zhantong looked at Bai Shishir in disbelief. It was the first time in his life that he heard Bai Shishir speak for him. He was so excited that he couldn't speak. "Boss, it's a little strange. What's the situation?" We just sneaked into Moyun Magic Sea. They came back so soon to retaliate, and so many Saint King level strong men came, which is not quite reasonable. Xiaqin couldn't help saying. Not only Xiaqin, but also others were very confused. This group of people came so suddenly that everyone was at a loss. Moreover, they are not as strong as we think. Guoran crossed his double knives on his shoulders and carried them, as if he were holding a huge pair of scissors, with a puzzled look on his face. Because they have just come from the Emperor and Heaven, they have not adapted to the laws of Heaven here, nor have they been recognized by Heaven, so they launched a raid. Bai Zhantong explained. This is different from the law of Emperor and Heaven. Although the two worlds are connecting, they will be greatly affected after crossing the boundary before they are fully integrated. Bai Zhantong is a local strongman. After entering the Imperial Queen, he adapted to the rules of the Imperial Heaven. When he returned again, he was somewhat uncomfortable, which would have a certain impact on his combat effectiveness, but the impact is not too great and acceptable. But this group of strong people from the Emperor's Heaven are different. The rules here have a great impact on them. According to the calculation of Bai Zhantong, they can only play 70% of their combat power here at most. That's even more strange. They are suppressed by the law. Why should they attack so eagerly? Can't they wait until they adapt to the law? Bai Shishir asked. Bai Zhantong shook his head and said, no one knows. If your mother is here, she may be able to guess. You know everything depends on my mother and Yarnyang. You're nothing. Bai Shishir is not angry. If it had been in the past, Bai Zhantong would have been very unhappy, but at this time, he could hear that Bai Shishi's tone was not criticism, but a kind of ridicule, but a kind feeling. He smiled and said nothing. They are in such a hurry to launch a raid. If they don't do it again, they won't have a chance. If I expect it well, it may be because the 9-day gate will be fully open soon. Dragon Dust pondered for a moment. Boom! As soon as the Dragon Dust's voice fell, suddenly the world trembled. Everyone looked in one direction at the same time. There, the divine light pierced into the sky and illuminated the whole world. The door of 9 days is really open. At that moment, everyone's heart beat faster, including Dragon Dust. A new world and a new challenge were in front of us. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4747, Let's Get Ready. In half a day, let's start together and go to the Emperor's Heaven. Looking at the light surging in the distance, Bai Zhantong looked serious and authentic. What about the General Hospital? We've all left. Isn't it an empty hospital? Bai Xiaola is a little worried. Now the array has just been broken down, and it takes time and effort to repair it. These elite have left. If someone is bad for the academy at this time, it will be bad. Don't worry, as long as there is one person, the safety of Lingxiao Academy is absolutely no problem. Bai Zhantong smiled. In Longchen's mind, the figure of Master Jinyuan holding a broom and not asking about the world suddenly appeared. But I've never seen the master of the clean house do anything. Bai Shishir couldn't help saying. Of course, Master Jinyuan won't do it. He won't do it until the critical moment of the Academy's life and death. All right, let's prepare and take whatever you want. After all, when you go to Emperor Huangtian this time and come back is not certain. Base Hantang Road. Everyone was shocked and returned to their residence one after another. They took all the things they could bring with them and were about to leave the academy. They were reluctant to give up. After all, they had lived here for so long, and they had regarded it as their home. When Bai Zhantong passed down the order, Lingxiao Academy was boiling from top to bottom. However, this time, the disciples who can enter the Emperor's Heaven are limited to the strong in the realm of God. In Bai Zhantang's words, people who are not in this realm can hardly bear the rolling of the laws of heaven and earth when entering the Emperor's Heaven. If they don't do well, they will die. And the disciples below the divine realm don't have to worry. After they enter the divine realm, the gate of the world will be completely stable at that time. Even if there is no academy to pick them up, they can freely enter the Emperor's Heaven. For a time, the whole academy became busy, and those disciples with low accomplishments could only watch their senior brothers and sisters pack their bags excitedly, with envy in their eyes. Although many of the older generation of strong people in the academy have enough accomplishments, they don't want to leave the academy. They are too old to have the spirit of their youth. Even if they enter the emperor's heaven, they have no chance to make progress. Instead of taking risks in the emperor's heaven, it's better to provide for the aged in the academy safely. To put it bluntly, the years have smoothed their edges and corners, their essence has not failed, and their heart has failed. The disciples who can enter the emperor's heaven are all dancing with excitement. Even if they know that the danger in the emperor's heaven is endless, there may be no return, but they still have no regrets. Young people always have amazing enthusiasm and persistence in the face of setbacks and challenges. No danger can stop them from exploring the future. Because in half a day, many disciples packed their bags in half an incense burning time, immediately set foot on the transmission array, left the academy, returned to their families and said final goodbye to their families. The parting at this time is likely to be the last. In order to leave no regrets, they want to have a good reunion with their families. This time, when I enter the emperor's heaven, I have a good chance to make Guoran famous. This time, I must not lose to Emon Yen. Guoran's excited cry came from the mountain where the Dragon Blood Legion was located. Take it easy. Now you have only completed 3 parts: war knife, chest armor and back armor. The helmet is still a semi-finished product, and the others haven't even finished. Xiaqin reminds Guoran. During this period of time, Guoran was busy casting weapons for everyone, but the time was delayed. Only part of his armor was made. What are you afraid of? Now its power is completely under my control. Even without armor, as long as you don't encounter a pervert like Wu Huan, few people can break my dragon blood body. Guoran patted his chest and said. Long Chen sat in front of the window of the small building. Bai Shishir and Yu Qingxian were packing their bags. The 3 were talking and laughing. When they heard Guoran shouting, Long Chen shouted out of the window, Guoran, I'm curious. How did you persuade the Qianlong to give you its power without reservation? When Guoran used his breastplate to block the attack of the strong king of the hunting family, the dragon dust was full of shock. This guy would always do something incredible. Hey, because I know it too well. This guy is lazier than anyone else. I've discussed with him. I won't easily put myself in a desperate situation. Its dragon blood power, there are 9 transactions for me, 10% sealed in its body, and then it can sleep at ease. If I encounter danger, it will be awakened. Its sealed power will ignite all the power of my armor, enough to get us out of trouble. So now it's sleeping deep in my soul. Guoran said with a smile, his face full of satisfaction. Does it believe you so much? You know, it knows you as much as you know it. I don't believe it's so easy to deceive. Dragon Dust shook his head and said, Of course, it's not easy to deceive, so you can only speak with strength. Ha. Guoran laughed. Long Chen was speechless for a while. When did the boy learn to sell off? But after thinking carefully, it must be Guoran hiding something. The boy didn't want to say it. Based on Long Chen's understanding of Guoran, this guy must have a lot of cards. Otherwise, with the courage of the hidden dragon, it will definitely not hand over its life to Guoran casually. It must have seen something in Guoran's hand and made it feel safe enough, so it can trust its strength to Long Chen. Long Chen talked nonsense with Guoran and others. When he looked back at the room, he couldn't help but be speechless. The whole room was empty. Seeing Long Chen's speechless expression, Bai Shishir smiled. Sister, as like as 2 peas, you are afraid that you will not be used to the Emperor's day, so you take everything here, and there you are, decorate a home that looks exactly the same as here. At first, Bai Shishir smiled like flowers, but when it came to the last word, home, a blush suddenly appeared on her pretty face, but there was a little tenderness in her eyes. The word, home, suddenly touched the softest place in Long Chen's heart. Countless pictures emerged in Long Chen's mind. The most warm picture for him was the desolate courtyard in Fengming Empire. At that moment, Long Chen suddenly thought of Long Tianxiao and his wife, and Long Xiaoyu. He deeply missed them and rushed to his heart. Long Chen never dared to think about this before because he missed them so much. After so many years, he didn't know how his parents and sister were. Master Jinyuan, Guoran, and others were blowing happily. Suddenly they shouted in surprise. Long Chun was also startled and hurried out. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 47-48, Mr. Jinyuan, why did you come in person? Long Chen hurried forward to salute. I was going to listen to your teachings before I set out. Originally, Long Chen intended to go to the master of the clean house 1 hour before departure to see if the master of the clean house had any care, but he didn't expect that the master of the clean house came in person, which made Long Chen a little embarrassed. I'm old and am worried about some things, so I came to see you. The master of the clean house smiled. Mr. Jinyuan, please sit down. Long Chen hurriedly brought a chair, but the master of the net yard shook his head and sat on the stone platform next to him. The master of the clean house looked around, looked at the dragon blood soldiers, nodded, and his eyes were full of praise. What a group of good children. Obviously, the hidden breath ring made by Guoran can hide from others, but it can't hide from the old man in front of him. Mr. Jinyuan, you flatter me, but my brothers really have nothing to say. Long Chen smiled and said that if he praised himself, Long Chen would be more modest, but the master of the clean house praised the dragon blood core, and Long Chen was proud from the bottom of his heart. Although the dragon blood soldiers are not afraid of heaven and earth, they are also respectful to the old people sweeping the floor of this academy. Every dragon blood warrior is a strong man killed from the bloody wind. Their intuition is extremely sharp. They can feel that the old man in front of them looks old, but in fact they are like mountains and seas. In front of him, the people seem so small. The master of the clean house nodded and said, I'm relieved to see you like this. I believe that with your strength, you can occupy a place even in the Emperor's heaven. Master Jinyuan, our goal is not to occupy a place. Guoran couldn't help saying. He wanted to say that the Dragon Blood Legion was going to become the first legion in the world, but he was stared by dragon dust. Seeing the action of dragon dust, the master of the clean house smiled and said, even if you want to dominate the world, don't you have to stand firm first? In fact, it's not so easy to stand firm in the Emperor's day. Please give me some advice. Dragon dust hurried. The master of the clean house can come in person. Naturally, he doesn't take the road casually. Long Chen listens carefully to every word of the old man and doesn't dare to miss anything. There are 3 gates of 6 realms in the Emperor's heaven, which is the place where the spirits of 9 days and 10 places converge, and it is also the starting point of the reincarnation of heaven. Since the birth of Jiutian, heaven and earth have been dominated by all spirits. When they were strong, they all dominated Jiutian. The dominator doesn't know how many changes have taken place. Every time there is a change of office, there will be a bloody storm. The cycle of heaven, the circulation of qi, and the change of thousands of laws. 9 days have changed from prosperity to decline, and from decline to victory. I don't know how many changes have taken place. I don't know how many peerless Tianjiaoan heroes are crushed to death under the wheel of history and buried in the long river of years, but they can't even lift a spray. The voice of Master Jinyuan is full of vicissitudes. A pair of turbid eyes look at the distance and seem to fall into distant memories. Listening to the story of Master Jinyuan, Long Chen and others seem to be brought into the long river of history for a moment. There seemed to be a majestic elegy and a roar from ancient times. Everyone is striving to be the master. They want to dominate the 9 days. All souls are the Lord. They stand on the world of mortals and look down on the universe through the ages. Hey, but so what? In the end, no one can always occupy that position. Every change is a bloodbath, cycle after cycle. The master of the clean house shook his head and sighed. In his voice, there seemed to be some disdain and regret. Long Chen and others listened quietly and dared not interrupt. The master of the clean house suddenly said to Guoran in front of him, Children, I ask you, if you become the master of 9 days, what will you do? Guoran was stunned and didn't want to directly answer, I can't be the lord of the 9 heavens. If I want to do it, it's also my boss. What if your boss is gone? The clean courtyard is a great humanitarian. Impossible. If my boss is gone, how can I still be there? Guoran smiled. Guoran's heartfelt answer hurt Long Chen. As Guoran said, if one day he died, all dragon blood soldiers will try their best to avenge him. Even if they know they will die, they will not turn back. That's what he fears most. In other words, if Guoran, Xiachen, Yu Zifeng, Gu Yang and others die in front of him, he will also go crazy. He is willing to trade his life for theirs. However, many times, God doesn't give you this opportunity. At the beginning of the War of Annihilation in Tianwu mainland, Long Chen watched the dragon blood soldiers die, but he couldn't save them. That feeling of powerlessness has been eating his heart like a poisonous snake for so many years. Whenever he thinks back, it hurts so much that he can't breathe. We're just assuming the great humanity of the clean courtyard. In that case, Guoran touched his chin and said, if I can dominate 9 days, I will establish a Dragon Blood Wara College. I am the first president. I will pass on all I have learned all my life. And you? Master Jinyuan looks at Xiachen. I want to create a Fuzong. I don't care about the president or the leader. I just hope more people can use Fuzong to enter the Tao, take Fuzong as a mirror, distinguish right from wrong and distinguish good from evil. Xiachen Dao. I want to build a Terran empire and improve the strength of the Terran to the extreme, which will last forever. This is Gu Yang's idea. The earth is the mother. She has given us everything. Our inheritance must be full of awe and gratitude to the earth. This is the idea of Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. When asked about Yu Zifeng shook his head and said that he had only accumulated love in the sword all his life. The kendo was endless. He would never reach the end. Therefore, he never thought of anything else. When asked about Bai Shishir was at a loss for a moment, then pondered for a moment and said that if she became the master of 9 days, she would lock up the dragon dust. At that time, Long Chen was speechless for a while. Later, it was estimated that Bai Shishir hoped that Long Chen could stay in one place honestly and no longer wander around. When asked about Bai Shaola, the little fox on Bai Shaola's shoulder jumped out first, waved his small claws, showed his sharp teeth, changed his previous docility, and his eyes were fierce. If you let us be the master of 9 days, the first thing I do is kill all the golden monkeys. Sky Demon Golden Monkey? Everyone was surprised. They had never heard of the name, but almost all of them were bleeding in Xiao Jiu's eyes. The murderous intention made people feel the hatred in Xiao Jiu's bones. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 47-49. In those days, the heavenly demon golden monkey family framed the nine-tail family by despicable means. Your gratitude and resentment can be said to last forever. You will meet them soon after entering the Emperor's heaven this time. However, one thing to remind you is that today's TNYAO golden monkey family is more powerful than that in the past, and your purple pupil nine-tail family has been banned and chased for so many years. With each passing year, it is very difficult to revenge. The clean courtyard is a great humanitarian. I know, but I must repay this deep blood feud. Even if I die, I will pull a group of monkeys on my back. The little fox gnashed his teeth. Long Chen and others were stunned. They didn't expect that Xiao Jiu should hide so deeply and have such deep hatred, but they never said it. Don't be afraid. Your business is the business of our Dragon Blood Corps. It's a big business. The boss will support you. Seeing the little fox's hatred and blood and tears looming in his eyes, Long Chen patted the little fox and comforted him. Boss. Hearing Long Chen's words, the little fox couldn't help crying. After being asked by everyone, the little fox told a shocking secret. This mystery involves the chaotic era, which is the most prosperous era in the world, and countless powerful races have been born. As Master Jingyuan said before, powerful races take turns to take charge of the 9-day world. The demon clan in the chaotic era is one of the strong clans, which once dominated the 9-day world for a long time. At that time, in order to compete for the dominant position, the demon families allied with each other and fought against other forces together, while some forces allied not for competition, but for self-protection. The Tao Golden Monkey and Zitong Nine-Tailed Fox were the closest allies. At that time, countless Tianjiao were born in both families. Originally, Zitong nine-tailed fox had no desire to compete for hegemony, but the Tnyao golden monkey had great ambition. The sky demon golden monkey family took advantage of the purple pupil nine-tail family, and the secret layout led the contradiction to the purple pupil nine-tail fox family. When the purple pupil nine-tail fox family was targeted, they jumped out and stood out for the purple pupil nine-tail fox. As a result, the Tnyao golden monkey family had ruthless means and bloody slaughtered countless forces, and became the target of public criticism in an instant. The purple pupil nine-tail demon fox family was also kept in the dark. Seeing that the Tnyao golden monkey family suffered for themselves, they immediately stood up and took out all their strength to save the Tnyao golden monkey family. In this way, the sky demon golden monkey family took advantage of the chaos to stir up the major forces and pointed the spearhead at the purple pupil nine-tail demon fox family. As a result, the world was in chaos. The purple pupil nine-tail demon fox family almost fought the whole world with the power of one family. At that time, all the cards of the purple pupil nine-tail demon fox were forced out. In that war, the blood was stained for 9 days and lasted for thousands of years. Finally, the purple pupil nine-tail demon fox was badly hurt, but it also made a great reputation. At this time, the Tnyao golden monkey family, which had hidden their strength for many years, broke out with all their strength, sweeping away the strong enemies in the world with the force of strong wind. Because those forces have been fighting hard with the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family over the years, and they have consumed almost all of them. If they don't surrender, they will be exterminated. In the end, they can only choose to surrender. However, the object of their surrender was not to the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family, but to the sky demon golden monkey family. At this time, the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family finally felt something wrong. Because at the beginning, they did their best to kill the Tnyao golden monkey family, even if they paid a heavy price. But for the sake of the covenant, they did not turn back even if they lost the whole army. But that day, when the demon golden monkey family took out all their strength and swept the demons, the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family immediately became angry and asked what the demon golden monkey family meant. But unexpectedly, the Tnyao golden monkey family directly tore up the blood and soul covenant of their ancestors and ordered all the demon families who were subject to the Tnyao golden monkey family to encircle and suppress the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family. The sky demon golden monkey family personally took action against the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family, destroyed the ancestral land of the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family with a powerful force of thunder, and destroyed the ancestral blood token of the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family. The imperial blood token is the inheritance treasure of Zitong nine-tailed demon fox. It records the covenant with the heavenly demon golden monkey family. Originally, one party will tear up the covenant and the other party will launch the imperial blood curse. Then the heavenly demon golden monkey family will be eroded by the curse for generations until they all perish. Because of this, the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family has never been wary of the sky demon golden monkey family, and their trust is stronger than a rock. However, the absolute trust brought a disaster to the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family. The imperial blood order was destroyed, and they completely lost the opportunity to punish the sky demon golden monkey family. The purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family has been fighting for thousands of years, and has been greatly weakened. It was destroyed by the sky demon golden monkey family, and only some nine-tailed demon foxes escaped. However, these nine-tailed demon foxes escaped, but faced the pursuit of the whole demon world, because at that time, the sky demon golden monkey family almost unified the demon world, and there was no place for the nine-tailed family to survive. In the endless pursuit, the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox family almost faded out of people's sight and became a legend. Although Long Chen and others have heard of the purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox, they have never heard of this gratitude and resentment. Obviously, the history is written by the winner, and this part of the dark history has been artificially covered up. But history can cover up, but hatred is deeply engraved in the heart of every purple pupil nine-tailed demon fox. From the time they were born, this hatred has taken root and sprouted in the depths of their souls. The secret of Xiao Jiao has been kept in his heart. He doesn't want to share it with anyone, including Bai Xiaola, because he knows how terrible his enemies are and how slim his hope of revenge is. His pride doesn't allow him to ask for help from anyone. But Long Chen didn't ask the reason and directly took the responsibility on his shoulder. This kind of duty-bound attitude made Xiao Jiao very moved. Shit, damn god demon golden monkey, when I have a chance, I'll pull out their golden hairs one by one and let these treacherous bastards show their original shape. After listening to Xiao Jiao's story, the dragon blood soldiers were filled with righteous indignation one by one. They wanted to settle accounts with them now. Xiao Jiao, don't be afraid. Since you are a member of my Dragon Blood Legion, your business is ours. From today on, our whole Dragon Blood Legion is incompatible with their heavenly demon golden monkey family. Guoran promised to the little fox. The most loyal and unacceptable thing for the Dragon Blood soldiers is betrayal and use. Let alone Xiao Jiao is a member of the Dragon Blood Legion. Even if not, for the sake of morality, the Dragon Blood Legion will definitely meet with the Sky Demon Golden Monkey family. Xiao Jiao was so moved that he wanted to say something. At this time, he found that no matter what he said, he could not express his gratitude. Have you ever heard of Jin Wuji? After hearing Xiao Jiao's story, the master of Jinyuan asked, You are talking about King Wuji, the Monkey King of Heaven? Xiao Jiao's face was startled. Yes, I tell you a very bad news. He is in the Emperor's heaven. The clean courtyard is a great humanitarian. At that moment, the little fox suddenly became dull as if struck by lightning. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4750, Who is Jin Wuji? Bai Xiaola and others were surprised to see the little fox. The little fox was always fearless, but when he heard the name, his body trembled and his eyes were full of fear. How could it be? Didn't he fail to prove the emperor, be robbed and killed by the emperor, and disappear? The little fox shouted in horror, and even his voice became hoarse. Long Chen and others have never heard of the name of Jin Wuji, or even the name of the Tinyao Golden Monkey family, but their hearts jump wildly when they hear the word Jing Emperor. Emperor represents the strongest in one world and the strongest beyond all laws and orders. That is the existence that really stands on the boundless red earth and looks down upon all living beings. In Tianmu mainland, there are 5 great emperors, all of whom are acquainted with dragon dust. Even though they are as arrogant as dragon dust, they are always full of awe for the 5 great emperors. Compared with them, they look so small as fireflies and the bright moon. Dragon dust has always been conceited, but never dared to claim to be comparable to the great emperor, because they are all idols worshipped by dragon dust. Only their compassionate feelings, dragon dust can't do it all his life. If we say that the only one who dares to compare with Longchen is Emperor Hanwei, although the other 4 emperors treat Longchen as their own brothers and give him endless help and guidance. But I don't know why, among the other 4 emperors, Longchen only worships and appreciates, but for Hanwei, Longchen feels kind from the bottom of his heart. Maybe they are the same kind of people. In Tianmu mainland, the 5 emperors are the top existence. Although there are 3 emperors under the 5 emperors, they scoff at the dragon dust of the 3 emperors. In his feeling, the 3 emperors don't deserve to lift shoes for the 5 emperors. There is a dimensional gap between them, which can't be compared at all. The emperor, even in front of the strong at the level of Longchen, is an existence that cannot be surpassed. Therefore, when people hear the word, prove the emperor, they all turn pale. They also finally understand why Xiao Jiao, who is not afraid of heaven and earth, should be so afraid. Master Jinyuan, are you mistaken? In my inheritance and memory, Jin Wuji is dead. If he is robbed and killed by the emperor, there is no chance of reincarnation. The little fox looked at the master of the clean house, and his eyes were full of expectation. How he hoped that the master of the clean house had made a mistake. Jinyuan Grand Humanitarian, your inheritance and memory have been artificially changed. You mean Jin Wuji is still alive? The little fox looked like death. The master of the clean house shook his head and said, "This is actually related to a period of mystery." In those days, Jin Wuji unified the demon family and forced other demon families to submit to him. In this way, he gathered the chi of the whole demon family to prove the emperor's salvation. Originally, he calculated well, but on the way to the robbery he was forcibly interrupted by one person. Therefore he failed to prove the emperor and died. Forcibly interrupted? This time even the dragon dust opened his mouth. Unexpectedly, there is such a dog blood thing. Can the emperor robbery be interrupted? How terrible is this man? You mean he's dead? The little fox doesn't care who interrupted him. He only cares if Jin Wuji is dead. Dead, but because the emperor's robbery was interrupted, he knew that there was no hope to prove the emperor. Before he died, he gambled on the luck of the heavenly demon golden monkey family to preserve his reincarnation opportunity. As a result, he won the bet. After his successful reincarnation, he chose to seal himself. According to my calculation, he will lift the seal when he runs through 9 days and strive for the opportunity to prove the emperor again. Therefore, you should think about whether you should hide your strength before deciding to fight with him. The clean courtyard is a great humanitarian. Master Jinyuan always speaks in a vague way, but this time, Master Jinyuan directly pointed out that this is tantamount to warning the little fox in a disguised form. It can be seen how terrible this Jin Wuji is. The little fox nodded and said, "I'll hide my strength. If I don't." "No need." Dragon Dust interrupted Xiao Jiao's words, and Xiao Jiao was stunned. Dragon Dust smiled and said, "What is hidden or not is not necessary at all. What should come will eventually come. You can do what you should do. If you encounter Jin Wuji, the boss will come out for you." Boss. The little fox closed his mouth tightly, and his tears couldn't stop flowing down. At this time, he was so moved that he couldn't say anything. Long Chen looked at the big man in the clean house. "Sorry, clean house adult, please forgive the boy's rudeness, because the skill I practice doesn't allow me to retreat, let alone escape. This time, I practiced the real Brahma Sutra from the 9 Sky Channel, met the real 9-star disciples, and met the strong ones of the imperial family." Long Chen seemed to see a new world and really recognized himself at the same time. After understanding the true meaning of the 9-star body formula, the Great Brahma Sutra and the Dragon God Body refining technique, Long Chen has determined his future road, which he will go on. He wants to return to his original heart and restore his nature. He wants to return to the mentality when he started from Fengming Empire. That was his weakest period, but also his strongest confidence. In the 9-day channel, he understood that whether a person is strong or not depends not on how many cards he has, but on whether he has the confidence to face all dangers. The master of the clean house smiled, nodded and said, "Since you have made such a decision, it shows that you have absolute confidence. This is a good thing. Don't worry, Master Jinyuan. As long as the other party is on the same level with me, I have absolute confidence. This confidence is not blind, but the iron law killed in countless battles, which will never change." Long Chen is very confident. Hearing the words of Dragon Dust, the blood of the dragon blood soldiers surged up. This is the boss in their mind. This iron law also applies to the Dragon Blood Legion. By the way, Master Jinyuan, can you tell us who interrupted Jin Wuji's imperial robbery? Long Chen asked, and the others pricked their ears. They all wanted to know what was going on. It's just a coincidence, mainly because Jin Wuji is unlucky. The cause and effect of this matter is too much to say. In addition, the name of that person can't be said. It's a taboo. If you say his name, you will lose your life. The clean courtyard is a great humanitarian. Loss of life Yuan? Dragon Dust and others can't help but be shocked. If they say a name, they will lose Shoyuan. It's too overbearing and terrible. It's more terrible than contamination with cause and effect. Far away. Suddenly, the master of the clean house patted his forehead. "I'm old, my brain is not smart, and I almost forgot my business." As he spoke, the master of the clean house took out a delicate wooden box. The wooden box exuded an ancient smell. Obviously, it was an old object. When the wooden box was opened, there was a brocade handkerchief. To everyone's surprise, there was a hairpin inside. The hairpin is black all over, and there is a black bat on the head. It is clearly a hairpin for women, but it emits a fierce smell, which makes people feel the soul tremble. The master of the clean house looked at the hairpin and stayed for a long time. It seemed that he fell into a distant memory. After a long time, the master of the clean house looked at Long Chen and said, "Son, in my own name, I entrust you to do something for me." You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4751, Master Jinyuan, you can tell me if you have anything. Dragon Dust hurried. This shadow bat hairpin is a keepsake of the shadow bat demon family. I helped others keep it. Countless years have passed. According to the agreement, when we get together in 9 days, I will return this shadow bat hairpin to its original owner. Go to the Emperor in heaven. If you can meet the people of the shadow bat demon family, give them the bat hairpin. Master Jinyuan slowly picked up the hairpin and handed the wooden box to Longchen. Strangely, when the wooden box was closed, the fierce spirit of the bat hairpin was isolated for a moment. The seemingly insignificant wooden box had the same extraordinary origin. This hairpin is something of the demon clan, and I, Long Chen, felt a little embarrassed immediately. Long Chen doesn't know how many powerful demons he has killed in his life. He has long been branded with hatred marks. As long as he is a demon, he can clearly feel the hatred marks from him. Let Long Chen send things to the demon, send other things, and send people away by the way. Not all demons should die, and not all Terrans should live. When you have reached this level, why are your eyes still limited to race? Shake your head. As soon as Long Chen was stunned, he suddenly thought of the strong man of the winged demon family he met in the Dionysus Palace. He looked at the wooden box in his hand and nodded, "Boy, I see." With these words, Long Chen put the wooden box away. As for the origin of the hairpin, Long Chen didn't ask. His intuition told Long Chen that this may involve the privacy of the master of the clean house. After entrusting the wooden box to Long Chen, the master of the clean house encouraged the people and left. At this time, the summoning order of the academy over there has also been issued, and all the disciples of Shenzunjing in the academy began to gather. When Long Chen entered the academy, it was an unreachable height. At that time, it was always rumored that Bai Ledian, the dean of the academy, was just a fairy king. Until now, Long Chen and others have ascended to the realm of God, but they still can't understand the realm of the senior officials of the academy. Their realm seems to rise because of the promotion of everyone. The realm of divine respect is now just the realm of disciples. When millions of college disciples gather, Long Chen and others can't help but be stunned. When did Lingxiao College have so many more disciples of divine respect? After inquiring, I learned that many disciples have joined Lingxiao Academy recently. However, they have just passed the preliminary examination and can only be regarded as external disciples. Long Chen and others suddenly realized that many of these disciples came to take advantage. They wanted to enter the Emperor's heaven in the name of Lingxiao Academy to avoid being bullied. Of course, many people think Lingxiao Academy is a good choice because their family power is weak and they can't join other forces. There are also a large number of people who come for the dragon dust. In the practice world, it is never a shame to follow the strong. As long as the follower is strong enough, it is a supreme honor. The Emperor of Heaven defeated the Emperor of Heaven on a large scale, and the Emperor of Heaven defeated the Emperor of Heaven twice in a row. These strong people join Lingxiao Academy and hope that one day they can enter the eyes of Longchen. If they have the opportunity to become a member of the Dragon Blood Corps, they can follow Longchen to fight in the world. Although both the Dragon Blood Legion and Lingxiao Academy have said that the Dragon Blood Legion will not recruit new members, the addition of Baishala still gives countless people hope. As long as you are strong enough and excellent enough, you can create opportunities even if you don't have opportunities. Therefore, many people come for this dream. Most importantly, even if this dream cannot be realized, staying in Lingxiao Academy is also a very good choice. After all, the name of the world's first academy is not in vain. When Long Chen led the Dragon Blood Legion to the Academy Square, millions of disciples of the divine realm had been waiting for him for a long time. After all, they were going to step into the emperor's heaven. No one could be excited and arrived early. The disciples of other levels in the academy had already lined up to see off the people. When Longchen and others appeared, the cheers of tsunami sounded from all directions. For a time, the name of Dragon Dust, the name of Dragon Blood Legion, and even the names of Guoran, Xiaqin, Yu Zifeng, Bai Shishir, Bai Xiaola, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan, etc. were constantly shouted, wave after wave. The scene made people's scalp numb, and the hot blood began to boil inadvertently. Watching these academy disciples shouting madly, their eyes are full of fanaticism and worship. Even Dragon Dust feels waves of warm currents surging in his heart. Guoran and others did not expect that even they were so popular. They listened to others shouting their names in their ears, and even some people were hoarse and full of tears. They waved to them desperately in order to attract their attention and let them see themselves. When did we become so famous? Guoran is a fool. Longchen patted Guoran on the shoulder and said, "In this world, everyone is unique and no one can hide the glory of others. People who like you will always notice your unique luminous points and those who worship you. Your shortcomings are also characteristics. That's what makes you different." Facing the cheers and shouts like the tsunami, Guoran and others were boiling with blood. Guoran shouted, "Don't worry, younger martial brothers and sisters. When we enter the Emperor's heaven and lay down a world that belongs to us. When you enter the Emperor's heaven again, you will no longer have to experience the bloodbath, and you will be greeted by a peaceful world." Guoran's cry ignited everyone's enthusiasm, and countless people shouted desperately. The voice shook the earth. "You've grown up. It's more emotional than your embarrassing broken poem." Xiaqin next to Guoran gave him a thumbs up. "Nonsense, my poem is still quite good, isn't it?" Guoran disapproved. In the strong cheers of the crowd, Longchen and others came to the front of the team. Under the leadership of Bai Zhantong, they said goodbye to the elders of the management of the academy, and then waved goodbye to the disciples of the academy. Under the gaze of countless eyes, the team walked out of Lingshao Academy. When they walked out of Lingshao Academy, a team immediately joined them. This team was impressively the disciples of Xinghe sect. They had been waiting outside the door one day in advance. Xinghe sect has always regarded Longchen as the real ancestor, because without Longchen, there would be no Xinghe sect now. Even the contemporary patriarch also respects Longchen as a god. Longchen went straight to the Gate of 9 Days with a vast team. At that moment, Longchen was full of excitement. He seemed to return to the scene when he set out from Fengming Empire and looked forward to the future, because he had a hunch that his parents were waiting for him in the Emperor's heaven. At this time, he was full of confidence in himself. "Emperor, I'm coming." You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4752 Boom. When Longchen and others left Lingshao Academy and marched in the direction of the Gate of 9 Days, there was a roar in the distance. A team of strong people flew in the air, just passing by Lingshao Academy. The leader is a holy king and strong man, with a vast breath and a strong gas of chaos. At first glance, he ran out of the Emperor's heaven. Guoran was so excited that he didn't know anyone else. He even took the initiative to say hello to the holy king. "Hey man, I'm strong enough to recruit so many new people. If I go back now, I won't be promoted to 3 levels? When a young man called him buddy, the strong man of the holy king would curse as soon as his face sank. When he saw the dragon dust in the crowd, the curse came to his mouth and was swallowed back. Although the king of the dragon hunter didn't dare to defeat the king of the dragon hunter, he didn't dare to kill the king of the dragon. At the beginning of the war, there was great movement. Many people witnessed the war in the distance and passed the news, which immediately caused an uproar. Although many people still have some doubts about the news, the hatred between Longchen and the Life Hunting clan is there. The Life Hunting clan will certainly not send experts to play with Longchen and expand Longchen's reputation. Therefore, even the Saint King level strong man felt numb when he saw Longchen. At this time, Guoran said hello to him. He could only harden his head and accompany him with a smile, said a compliment, and immediately changed the route with people. Obviously, they don't want to walk side by side with Longchen. If they surpass Longchen, they are afraid of causing dissatisfaction. They simply detour directly. Typically, they can't afford to provoke and hide. Cut, I don't dig your corner. Why do you run so fast? Seeing the old guy running away with a wary face, Guoran was a little unhappy. Looking at the number of them, it is estimated that there are more than 700,000. The old man's strength is average. It is estimated that this guy's ability is all in one mouth. He fooled so many people. Longchen looked at the old man's back and said, "Those strong men at the Saint King level who risked their lives to escape from the Emperor's heaven basically have a purpose, which is to recruit more talents here and add more fresh blood to their power." Oh, I see. Guoran's face was suddenly enlightened. See what? Bai Xiaola couldn't help saying. The reason that guy doesn't like me is because the boss overturned their wishful thinking, otherwise his team will be stronger. Guoran said. Everyone was stunned at first, and then they all understood that at the beginning, countless young Tianjiao came to Lingshao Academy to show Longchen a clear way, because joining those forces required signing a soul contract, which they rejected. The dragon dust asked them to enter the Emperor's queen to think again. This undoubtedly ruined the jobs of countless people. Originally, many forces were about to be conquered by them. As a result, they were all screwed up by the word of dragon dust. Therefore, there was a matter of coming to the door to find an explanation later. In this matter, Longchen almost offended all those who came from the Emperor. No wonder the old man saw that Longchen's eyes were so strange. He hated Longchen, but he didn't dare to show his feelings. Longchen and others walked all the way, neither fast nor slow. They always maintained their peak state. Before departure, Longchen took care of them. Accidents are likely to happen on the road, so we can't be careless. It should have been reminded by Bai Zhantong, but seeing that Longchen had told him, he didn't have to bother. Even he simply asked Longchen to lead the team. He was happy to be at leisure. The road of the 9 Days Gate is very far away, but Longchen is not in a hurry. He still moves forward at a leisurely speed. Even if he is overtaken by others, he is not in a hurry. Along the way, I met countless teams, some of which reached millions. The leader of the Holy King was arrogant and arrogant. Obviously, this guy has overfulfilled the task, with a high-spirited and self-sacrificing posture. However, when their team flew past Longchen, it was obvious that their breath converged a lot. Even the strong Saint King took the initiative to say hello to Longchen. At first, Longchen didn't understand why this guy was so friendly to himself. Later, Longchen figured out that this guy started early. Before that, he had fooled enough people. Some forces, on the other hand, play the art of attacking the heart in secret. When the time is ripe, they will directly close the net and strike while the iron is hot to win all the targets at one stroke. As a result, their layout was destroyed by dragon dust. All their previous efforts were in vain, and this guy suddenly became a leader. Not only did he overfulfill the task, but by contrast, the number of people recruited was definitely among the best. In this way, of course, he would like to thank Longchen. Without Longchen, his performance would not be so prominent. However, compared with those teams with hundreds of thousands or millions of people, there are also some forces that are somewhat constrained. Their teams have only hundreds of people, or at least a dozen. When Longchen saw the dozens of people, he was stunned because, judging from their breath, they were all strong men from the Emperor and heaven, that is to say, they risked their lives to come here and ended up with nothing. Asshole, what are you looking at? You'll look good when you enter the Emperor. The dozen people were filled with righteous indignation when they saw the different eyes of Longchen and others, and one of the women stood up and threatened to point to Longchen. Longchen tilted his lips and was too lazy to argue with a woman. Longchen ignored her, but Bai Shishir made a move. Pa, Bai Shishir waved his palm in the air, and a big golden hand condensed from the void and pumped it hard on the woman's face. With a loud explosion, the woman screamed and was pumped out. When she got up, there was a deep 5-finger mark on half of her face, and the corners of her mouth were cracked and blood flowed. If your mouth is dirty again, I'll pull out your tongue. Bai Shirshir looked at the woman coldly. Bai Shirshir was not used to her. The woman was shocked and angry. She knew she was not the opponent of Bai Shirshir. She turned her head and looked at the Holy King's strong man around her. As a result, the Holy King's strong man walked forward without saying a word with a gloomy face, as if she didn't see anything. Finally, the woman was slapped, but she didn't dare to say a word, and walked with the team in dismay. Poetry Fairy is powerful and domineering. Long Chen shows a thumbs-up way to Bai Shir. The guy whose legs are soft when he sees a woman, shut up. Bai Shir angrily said. When did I see a woman with soft legs? That woman is just a 3-star destiny. How can I do it? What annoyed Long Chen most was that Bai Zhantong laughed recklessly next to him. Boss, look. Suddenly Bai Xiaola pointed to a group of people in the distance and said to Long Chen. How could it be them? When he saw the group of people, Long Chen could not help frowning. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4753. Following the direction pointed by Bai Xiaola, Long Chen saw a group of familiar faces. They were not others, but the strong members of the Long family who once visited the academy. The leader of the old man is the Longxi River. At this time, the Longxi River is dignified and energetic. Even the disciples of the dragon family who follow him are arrogant and arrogant. They want to see people through their nostrils. What Long Chen didn't expect was that the team led by Longxi River was extremely powerful, reaching tens of millions of people. The team was mighty and arrogant. When the dragon dust saw them, they also saw the dragon dust. When they saw the dragon dust, a cold and fierce color appeared in the eyes of the Dragon West River, pretending not to see the dragon dust, so they roared past. Obviously, Long Chen killed Long Xiuyang in the academy and completely offended the Shiha elder, and the Shiha elder is really strong enough. After all, not everyone is so fooled by Long Chen. With its powerful flickering ability and the gold-lettered signboard of the Tianhuang dragon family, Longxi River has attracted countless strong people all at once. The Tianhuang dragon family is definitely a giant in the imperial heaven. With this convenience, other problems will be solved naturally. However, when the team sped by, Long Chen saw some eyes with killing intention, and Long Chen couldn't help narrowing his eyes. Boss, as long as you give an order, I'll kill these unsightly things. Guaran and others also sensed the killing intention, which was obviously deliberately done by this group of people. Guaran and others know that when the Tianhuang dragon family comes here, they will find the blood of the dragon family at the first time, and those who deliberately reveal their intention to kill are the branch of the dragon family that imprisoned Long Zhantian. It can be said that Long Chen and the dragon family have a great hatred, but because of his father's commitment, Long Chen did not exterminate them. Now these guys think that they can step on the dragon dust when they climb the high branch and deliberately look like they have no fear, which makes the dragon blood soldiers furious. They secretly scolded this group of people for being ignorant of life and death. Anyone in the dragon blood corps can easily kill them, just as it is easy to crush an ant. Even if there is Longxi River, it can't protect them. Forget it, I promised my father that as long as they don't take the initiative to deal with me, I won't take the initiative to seek revenge. Dragon Dust shook his head. In fact, Long Chen wants to kill them more than anyone else, humiliating his father's hatred and dying together, but his father's life is difficult. Even if Long Chen has the ability to connect with heaven, he can't help it. I'm so angry. Can't I just take them? Guaran clenched his teeth. There must be some ways, but the time has not come. Dragon Dust smiled. What can I do? Guaran was immediately curious. They have the heart to kill me. When they go to the Emperor, they will look for opportunities to make trouble for me. Just let me seize one chance and kill them all. My father will not blame me at that time. Long Chunin smiled. He has never been a gentleman, let alone a good man and woman. His creed is that if there is kindness, he will repay it, and if there is hatred, he will repay it. In fact, the hatred between Long Chen and the dragon family can never be solved. Long Chen has been secretly paying attention to the trend of the dragon family, hoping to seize a handle. Unfortunately, Long Chen has not seized a good opportunity. He is waiting for an opportunity to eliminate the roots. Cut, it's not like you before. If you were in Tianwu mainland, you would have cleaned them up long ago. Keel evil moon tone with disdain tunnel. This guy seems to be uncomfortable without mocking dragon dust for a few words a day. You know something? My father and I have gone through a lot of hardships and met again after a long separation. Can I not listen to him? In addition, my father stopped me because, on the one hand, he wanted to cut off the connection with the dragon family and not owe each other. On the other hand, he didn't want me to bear the curse of killing my ancestors. Dragon Dust responded angrily. This guy, Keel Evil Moon, doesn't know whether he has become extremely violent and bloodthirsty because he swallowed too many dragon souls. He always deliberately uses words to stimulate him and seduce him to cut people. Of course, Longchen is not used to it and opens his mouth. Buzz, while they were marching, the void in front of them kept shaking. It turned out that unconsciously, they had come to the Gate of 9 Days. The Gate of 9 Days is different from the Gate of ordinary space. It is a huge portal, tens of thousands of miles high and straight into the sky. The cornices and hanging corners above the portal are bright. The portal opens inward and looks like welcoming visitors from all directions. When someone rushes into the Gate of 9 Days, the whole gate will flicker and the void will roar violently. When the dragon dust came to the Gate of 9 Days, they didn't rush in. Almost at the same time, they looked back to the distance, where there were their relatives, their growth footprints and their countless memories. They all know that when they cross this portal, they face a new world. The world may be wonderful or bloody. When they step out, many people will never come back. Looking back, they say goodbye to the world. With a wave of dragon dust's big hand, everyone rushed into the Gate of 9 Days at the same time. When people in public crossed the Gate of 9 Days, strong aura and powerful laws of heaven came to their faces. At that moment, everyone's pores opened in an instant and greedily sucked the breath of the world. It was a kind of instinct of life, just like the vegetation in the desert struggling in a difficult environment. Now what they yearn for in ordinary days is readily available here, and the instinct of life was awakened in an instant. God, living here, even if you don't have to practice hard, it's countless times faster than practicing outside. Someone shouted excitedly. It really deserves to be the strongest day in the 9-day world. This is the blessed place for practitioners. For a time, people were so excited that they were incoherent. Not to mention them, even Long Chen and others felt extremely excited. This is the instinct of the body. The more powerful people are, the more they can feel the desire of the body. Just across the gate, Long Chen felt his dragon blood boiling for a moment, while the dormant purple blood and colorful supreme blood were awakened by the breath here and began to become ready to move. At that moment, the dragon dust was like a fish dying of thirst and finally returned to the sea. The feeling could not be described in words. After Long Chen and others entered the gate, there was a chaotic channel. When they passed through the channel, the aura in front of them became rich dozens of times in an instant, and the world in front of them gradually became clear. However, before they could see the world in front of them, the strong fishy smell came to their faces. At the same time, the shrill screams and roars continued to be heard. Boom, a sharp claw tore the void and went straight to Longchen and others. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4754. The claw has 6 fingers, like 6 sharp blades, whistling. Through the cracks between his fingers, Longchen saw a monster with several feet high and strange scales all over. The scales on the monster are similar to crocodiles, but it has 2 arms and 4 legs, a round head, serrated fangs, a big mouth, and the whole head is almost divided in 2. Their teeth are still hung with flesh and blood. When they roar, their blood gas soars to the sky. Their breath is violent and bloodthirsty. With a strong gas of chaos, they shoot down with one claw and distort the space constantly. The power of this claw can cleave mountains and break mountains. The monster's claw went straight to Longchen and caught it. Without Longchen's hands, a long sword of a dragon blood warrior came out of the scabbard and cut it on the claw. Poof! The monster's claw was cut off by a sword in an instant. The monster roared in great pain, but the dragon blood warrior was also surprised. The sharp sword in his hand was made by Guoran himself. He blew hair and cut iron like mud. He thought he could cut the monster in half with one sword, but he didn't expect that the sharp sword deviated from the line and cut off its arm after touching the bone. Roar! The monster was cut off an arm. Instead of being afraid, it became more violent. Its body suddenly stepped back, its big mouth suddenly opened, and a mass of light condensed rapidly. Suddenly, the light burst out like a sharp sword. At this time, the figure shook. Guoran stood in front of the crowd and resisted with his body. Boom! With a startling explosion, the light burst open. Guoran was covered with triple dragon armor, and his figure just shook slightly. Boss, a little strong. Guoran's face changed slightly and was dignified. Puff! At this time, the monster fell to the ground and died directly after the blow. Obviously, the blow directly exhausted all its strength. Dragon Dust and others can't help but feel a chill in their hearts. The monster has a fierce character. If they don't agree with each other, they will die directly with others, which is completely contrary to the instinct of life. Puff, puff. At this time, countless monsters rushed around them. Many people were caught off guard and were killed by surprise. Some people with weak cultivation immediately died in panic. How can this happen? Why can't my spell be issued? Someone shouted in horror. The man made a knot in his hands, but found that the spell had not been summoned. Some people reluctantly summoned the magic, but the power was less than 1/10 of the usual. Under panic and fear, the scene was in a mess. The Dragon Blood Legion dispersed to protect the team. The pure immortal cultivation came to the middle, and the physical cultivation and blood inheritors were responsible for the secondary defense. The law of the Emperor is different from that of our world. Your magic can't be recognized by the heaven here. It takes time to adapt. Don't panic. With the Dragon Blood Legion, you will be unharmed. Long Chun shouted to the disciples of the academy. Originally, the disciples of these academies found that they could not use their magic skills, and immediately became frightened. This is like a person who has been deprived of martial arts. In the face of cruel monsters, it is impossible not to panic. However, when the words of Dragon Dust fell, the Dragon Blood soldiers scattered like an iron wall and surrounded the people. At that moment, they suddenly felt a sense of security. The reason why the Dragon Dust is so confident is that most of the strength of the Dragon Blood soldiers comes from the dragon blood in their bodies. Even if they do not use other magic methods, relying on the power of the dragon blood alone is enough to give full play to 80% of their combat power. Puff, puff. When the Dragon Blood soldiers were in place, monsters like a tsunami swarmed around. The long swords of the Dragon Blood soldiers flew like a rainbow. With one sword, the monsters fell down in pieces. Seeing that the situation was stabilized for a moment, the disciples of the academy suddenly increased their confidence. Some disciples with little influence also joined the battle circle one after another. They stood behind the Dragon Blood soldiers and specially killed those who missed the net. In this way, the Dragon Blood warriors can save more energy. They only need to kill a large number of monsters without taking the trouble to kill the fish that have escaped the net. In addition to the Dragon Blood soldiers, the disciples of Xinghe sect will have the least impact. After a short repair, they all joined the battle and soon took over the position of the Dragon Blood soldiers and became the main force of defense. The Xinghe warriors are also brave and invincible. Those monsters do not pose a great threat to them. When the Dragon Blood warriors see that the scene has been controlled, they will no longer shoot and return to their position. The chaos in the academy was almost controlled in an instant, but not all forces had such rich combat experience as the Dragon Blood soldiers. Many forces were caught off guard by sudden changes. For a time, I don't know how many people died at the mouth of strange things. Although these teams are led by the king-level strongmen, these king-level strongmen did not remind them that they were killed and ran away. And these king-level strongmen secretly opened the photo jade one by one and recorded the battle picture. Long Chun couldn't help but curl his mouth when he saw this scene. Obviously, They want to observe the performance of these disciples through this chaotic battle and see who can be reused. With a wave of Dragon Dust's big hand, the Dragon Blood Legion acted as a sharp knife and took the team like a giant ship, riding the wind and waves. Endless monsters were destroyed and moved forward rapidly in the fishy wind and blood rain. Other forces move slowly and bite the tail of the front team, so that they will bear much less pressure. However, the Dragon Blood Legion is not the case. It has opened up a new road in the sea of demons and monsters, keeping pace with other people's coalition, teams and rushing straight to the head of the team. Originally, there were forces behind Long Chen who saw the bargain and wanted to follow, but Long Chen and others rushed too fast. They couldn't bite the tail of the team and finally had to follow the Long Dragon honestly. Soon, Long Chen caught up with the leader of the team. To his surprise, the leader of the leader was Longxi River, and the dragon family took the lead. When he saw Long Chen catch up, Longxi River didn't speak, but a mocking color appeared at the corners of his mouth. At this time, there was a roar in front of him, and then Long Chen saw hundreds of figures like mountains. At this time, the sinister smile on Longxi River's face became more unscrupulous. He took out a small medicine bottle and waved it casually. The dark red powder filled his team. Then a strange scene appeared. Those monsters who attacked them crazily, like frightened, fled one after another and killed Long Chen. The most terrible thing is that the figure in the distance, like a mountain, also rushed straight to the Dragon Blood Legion. Dragon Dust, how do I see you die? That's a Saint King level monster, ha! Just then, a dragon family disciple behind the Longxi River sneered with schadenfreude. Just then, the huge monster roared and rushed to Long Chen. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4755. It turns out that the powerful emperors such as Longxi River deal with monsters all year round and have a very in-depth understanding of the habits of some monsters. For some monsters, they have a unique method to drive them away, and they have also developed many drugs for monsters. Longxi River sprinkles exorcism powder on people. This powder is not very useful if it is one-to-one. This kind of medicine powder is a very annoying taste of monsters. Eating people will be as uncomfortable as eating excrement. On the premise of choice, they rarely attack the people smeared with this kind of medicine powder. Therefore, when the Longxi River sprinkled medicinal powder, these monsters immediately killed Long Chen, and the dragon family disciples around Longxi River gloated one by one, and some even ridiculed. I don't know if the sky is high and the earth is thick. Do you think Emperor Huang Tian is still your Lingxiao Academy? Remember, when you are reborn in your next life, don't be so arrogant. At the beginning, they were driven out of Lingxiao Academy by Long Chen. They hated it. At this time, they were happy to see Long Chen in trouble. Xiaolu, those are the experts of the Tianhuang dragon family. Let them come and demonstrate how to resist so many Saint King level monsters. Facing the terrible Holy King monster, Long Chen didn't panic and turned to dialogue Xiaolido. Bai Xiaola is confused. He doesn't know these guys well. How can he invite them? You are so stupid. The little fox on Bai Xiaola's shoulder was speechless for a while, and the little claws closed, and suddenly the void twisted for a while. Buzz, those dragon family disciples who were still gloating in the team suddenly trembled and were pulled away by a strong suction, which scared them into a burst of exclamation. At that moment, Longxi River's face changed greatly. His big hand opened, and his palm fell on the void. Poof! As a result, the moment he shot, an arrow came and directly pierced his palm, bringing out a shower of blood. The boss wants people to die in the third watch. Who dares to keep people until the fifth watch? Even Lord Yen doesn't have that ability. Do you think you can do it? The colorful crossbow in Guoran's hand pointed to the Longxi River and sneered. That arrow was sent by Guoran. His colorful crossbow was just made. Combined with the advantages of the life-hunting god crossbow in Tianfu, its lethality was even higher. Longxi didn't even have the chance to respond, so he was caught. Longxi River was shocked and angry. The arrow was silent and had no sign. Even without being triggered, he was pierced in the palm of his hand by an arrow. If Guoran's arrow was not aimed at his palm, but at his head, his clothes would be wet with sweat in a moment. What's going on? At the moment when Longse was shocked by Guoran's means, the disciples of the dragon family who mocked Longchen suddenly found that they had been sent to those holy king-level monsters. Roar, those holy king-level monsters were rushing frantically. They saw that they were blocking the way. With a wave of their claws, the void was marked with cracks. Where the cracks passed, they were torn into powder in a moment. Dragon dust, what do you mean? Do you want to be the enemy of the dragon family? Seeing those dragon family disciples killed, Longse was shocked and angry. The disciples of the dragon family behind Longxi River were sweating on their foreheads. Fortunately, they didn't say anything to ridicule Longchen, otherwise they were on their way to reincarnation. Now that you have chosen to be my enemy, don't blame me for being cruel and cruel. I dragon dust never makes trouble, but am absolutely not afraid of things. If you want to play, you can accompany me at any time. Dragon Dust Cold Tunnel. From the attitude of Longse and the disciples of the dragon family, Longchen knows that these guys must be in trouble in the future. If Dad is really in the dragon family, he will go to the dragon family and have to deal with them in the future. Since the Jiutian channel came out, Longchen regained his confidence. He is no longer as forward-looking and afraid of hands and feet as before. He wants to restore his previous style. Dragon Dust waved his big hand and made a special gesture. The dragon blood soldiers rushed out one after another. These people are ordinary dragon blood soldiers. Even the soldiers at the captain level did not participate in the war. Poof, a dragon blood warrior flew out. He was the fastest. He was the first to meet a king-level monster and cut it down with a sword. The monster screamed and a sharp claw left in an instant. Puff, puff. However, this did not end. The dragon blood warrior danced up and down like a ghost, flashing several times in a row, like 7 or 8 of them shooting together. The monster's arms, legs and tail were cut off one after another, and then the sword gas rushed to the sky, cut through the monster's lower abdomen, and the foul gas erupted, pouring out the monster's internal organs. Poof! Then the dragon blood warrior did not know when he had stood at the monster's neck and cut it with a sword, and the monster's huge head rose to the sky. At that moment, everyone, including Longxi River, was stunned. The dragon blood warrior was in the blink of an eye from the hand to the end. In the blink of an eye, the Saint King level monster was dismembered by him in an instant, and the technique was clean and neat, just like flowing clouds and water. From the first sword to the last sword, the Saint King level monster didn't even say a word. Everything happened so fast that it was too late to respond. That's a Saint King level monster. Although there is still a certain gap between one-on-one and the Saint King level strong of the Terran, the gap is not particularly huge. As a result, it was neatly divided. In fact, the dragon blood warrior dismembered the monster, not deliberately showing off his means, but the unique fighting habits of the dragon blood warrior. When they encounter an opponent they have never seen before, they will first observe the opponent, judge the weakness of the other party, find a gap and attack, dismember the opponent, verify whether their judgment is correct, and find out more weaknesses of the other party. Only by accurately controlling the weakness of the other party can you kill with one blow when you encounter such an opponent in the future, and your precious physical strength will not be wasted. Hundreds of holy kings and monsters were killed by the dragon blood soldiers in an instant, and the bodies were cut into pieces by the sharp sword. With a wave of dragon dust's big hand, these fragments were included in the chaotic space. When the broken meat falls into the black soil, the whole chaotic space trembles, and the vast gas of life gushes out. In this gas of life, there is a powerful gas of chaos. The vegetation in the whole chaotic space becomes energetic for a moment, as if given magical power and transformed. Buzz. Just then, the front suddenly became steep, and the field of vision became wide in an instant. Then Longchen saw the boundless battlefield, and 8 huge channels appeared in the void. Before Longchen could observe, a call full of surprises suddenly sounded in his ear. Dragon dust. Longchen looked for prestige and immediately saw a familiar figure. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4756. Looking for prestige, the dragon blood soldiers saw a tall, 1 head taller than their men, but extremely beautiful woman. Feng Yu, what Longchen didn't expect was that the person who shouted his name was not someone else, but Feng Yu of the Melting Beast family. Feng Yu looked at Longchen with beautiful big eyes. Her eyes were full of unbelievable looks, and her pretty face was full of surprises. At this time, Feng Yu, wrapped in flames and holding a phoenix gun, is leading the strong men of the Melting Beast family to kill those monsters madly. Third Master, the strong people of the Melting Beast family saw the dragon dust and burst into a burst of thunderous cheers, although they only spent a very short time with the dragon dust. But it was during this time that they saw what was the real strong. Among the Melting Beast family, no one did not worship dragon dust and regarded dragon dust as an idol. In the days when they get along with Longchen, they are invincible and invincible. Since they separated from Longchen, they miss Longchen all the time. Lean over, Longchen was also excited and commanded the army to move closer to the Melting Beast family. Originally, the two teams were not far away from each other. The two teams quickly moved closer, and the two teams merged in an instant. Awesome, now the Melting Beast family has such a scale? Longchen was surprised to find that there were tens of millions of strong people in the Melting Beast family. He didn't know where they came from. Before we merged the Beast family, we were divided into parts in order to preserve the fire and avoid the disaster of destroying the family and species. Now, the gate of the Emperor's heaven is opened, and our Melting Beast family has received the call of the ancestors in the Emperor's heaven, and all come together. Feng Yu carries her gun behind her back and sees the excited tunnel of Longchen. Her big eyes are full of joy. This is... At this time, Bai Shishir pulled Yu Qingxian over and looked at the super large beauty to test the question and answer, but there was a trace of vigilance in her eyes. Oh, let me introduce you. This is a friend I met in the Jiutian channel. Her name is Feng Yu. She has ancient phoenix blood. She is the young patriarch of the Beast family. Dragon Dust hurriedly introduced to the public. After introducing Feng Yu, Longchen said to Feng Yu, "This is my brother, Guoran, Xia Chen and Bai Xiala. This is Gu Yang, head of the First Army of the Dragon Blood Corps, Li Qi, head of the Second Army, Song Mingyuan, head of the Third Army and Yu Zifeng, head of the Fourth Army. The brothers behind me are all members of our Dragon Blood Legion. Each of them is a real warrior and a brother I can trust with my life." With the introduction of Longchen, Feng Yu saluted them one after another. Although Feng Yu is a woman, she is beautiful and vigorous. Women don't let men. One glance makes people feel good about her. This is my fiancée Yu Shixian, both of whom are my fiancés. When Longchen introduced her second daughter, a bad smile suddenly appeared at the corners of her mouth. Bai Shishir and Yu Qingxian immediately blushed. Although they were all the beauties of Longchen, they were introduced to be his fiancée in front of so many people. They were overwhelmed. Yu Qingxian blushed like apple. Although Bai Shishir looked ashamed, there was a touch of comfort and gratitude in her eyes. Seeing Bai Shishi's eyes, Longchen secretly said that Bai Shishir is also a small vinegar jar. It seems that her introduction makes her very satisfied. If Longchen ambiguities in the past, it is estimated that he will have a better life in the future. I don't know how many small shoes this girl will wear for him. It's shameless. It takes parents' orders and matchmakers' words to get married since I came here. Alas. At this time, Bai Zhantong stood up and said half of it. He had a sharp pain in his waist, but Bai Shishir pinched him severely. This is... Feng Fei was stunned. He is a busboy. Don't pay attention to him. Dragon Dust hurried. Feng Yu, half convinced, quickly saluted Bai Shishir and Yu Qingxian and said, "It's my sister-in-law's wife. It's really disrespectful. The two fairies are excellent and have extraordinary bearing. Only two fairies are worthy of heroes like Brother Longchen." However, when Longchen introduced them as his fiancée, there was a dark color in Feng Yu's eyes. Although she covered it well and could even hide it from Longchen, she could not hide it from Bai Shishir and Yu Qingchuan's eyes. "You flatter me, young patriarch Feng Yu. Your majesty is outstanding. It's the pride of our women that women are equal to men. I hope there will be opportunities for us to get closer in the future. Although we dare not expect to command thousands of troops, we also hope to help Longchen share more. Yu Qingxian smiled. You're welcome, sister. Feng Yu is young and knowledgeable. You must listen to your sister's teachings when you have the opportunity. Feng Yu immediately smiled like a flower and saluted Yu Qingxian again. Yu Qingxian smiled and motioned for her to talk to Longchen. He pulled Bai Shishir back. Bai Shishir whispered to Yu Qingxian, Sister, aren't you afraid that this great beauty will shake your position? Obviously, the appearance of Feng Yu makes Bai Shishir full of vigilance and stimulates jealousy in her heart. Of course, this is the instinct of being a woman. Silly sister, you don't know Longchen very well. There is no desire between men and women in the eyes of Longchen. If you obviously show hostility, it will only embarrass Longchen. Another question is, if she really becomes a sister in the future, isn't your state today the not in the future? Yu Qingxian said. As soon as Bai Shishir was stunned, she suddenly thought of herself. When she fell in love with Longchen had many confidants, but at that time, they were so friendly to her, which made her feel endless warmth. Push yourself to others. If they treat her like this, it will be unacceptable to the proud her. At the thought of this, she was very ashamed. Sister, should I go and apologize to her? Bai Shishir's poems are a little tangled. Silly sister, isn't it more embarrassing for you to apologize? Longchen just regards her as a partner. Don't worry, it's okay, just think nothing has happened. Yu Qingxian comforted. Bai Shishir and Yu Qingxian communicate in secret. Longchen is introducing Guoran's identity as a casting master to Feng Yu in detail. At this time, Guoran suddenly feels that he is radiant, everyone stands more upright, and his body seems to become majestic. Feng Yu looked at Guoran, Xiachen and others admiringly. Only then did she know that Longchen's men were full of talents, hidden dragons and crouching tigers, and Longchen mentioned them with pride. And Feng Yu also introduced the strong people of the Melting Beast family to Longchen. Today's Melting Beast family has countless new faces, including the strong people with terrible breath. However, just after Feng Yu introduced them, he heard a loud noise in the distance. In a space channel, endless thunder rolled, and then a figure rushed out of the endless thunder. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4757, Boom. In the endless torrent of thunder, a strong figure roared past against the thunder. He's going through the robbery. Someone exclaimed that when the man rushed out, there was endless thunder all over him, and the violent breath of destruction radiated 9 days and 10 places. On his head, there were clouds of robbery, and thunder lightsabers came down. No, his realm is just God's respect for the triple heaven. Guoran and others were surprised. The man's realm was equivalent to theirs, but how could the natural disaster be added to him? Is he the legendary body of thunder? Longchen was surprised to see the figure. Boss, what is the body of thunder? Guoran asked hurriedly. This is what I saw in the ancient books in the academy. It is said that there is a very special constitution in this world. We all go through a robbery only when we raise a big realm, but the body of Tianlei will go through a robbery every time we raise a small realm. Dragon Dust Road. If you are promoted to a high heaven, you will have to cross the robbery once? Isn't that? Guoran and others were shocked. Yes, it is said that the body of thunder is one of the strongest physique in 9 days and 10 places. The physical strength is extremely terrible. Unexpectedly, I saw this physique here. This person's breath is filled with the spirit of famine. Obviously, he is not a person of our time. He should be a sealed Tianjiao who has just been awakened. Dragon Dust Road. Boom. The man walked forward against the endless disaster. When the demons saw him, they were scared to flee and didn't dare to stop him. The man passed by the crowd in an instant, rode through the dust and disappeared in an instant. Although people left, they left endless shock, and Feng Yu's eyes were full of horror. This time, the Melting Beast family was unprecedented in scale and high-spirited. Unexpectedly, The attack came so fast that even the legendary body of Tianlei appeared. Although Feng Yu doesn't know what is the body of heaven thunder, he has to cross the sky once. Even those who know nothing about practice know what this means. Every realm will be consolidated by a natural disaster, so his foundation will be so solid that it is unimaginable. Although the man did not reveal any breath, he can resist in such a terrible natural disaster, which is enough to prove his terror. You know, when he first appeared, he robbed the thunderstorm that day, but he killed the Saint King level monster directly, but he was like no one. Even Long Chen, who has the most contact with the natural disaster, feels great pressure in his natural disaster, but the man is relaxed and indifferent. It can be seen that his strength is really terrible. You have the strongest physique, Boss Lei? Xia Chen asked. Of course, Dragon Dust smiled. Of course, there are other physiques. The 9-star bully body is also among them. The key is that the power of stars in Dragon Dust began to run slowly at the moment of seeing that person. It has produced induction. The man who has the body of Sky Thunder doesn't sense the Dragon Dust. It can't be said that he is not strong enough, but because the dragon blood power of the Dragon Dust is too strong to cover up the power of the stars. Of course, this is also deliberately done by Long Chen. The identity of the 9-star descendant cannot be seen. Although he has the cover of the formula of the Milky Way and the sky, this cover-up cannot last long after all. Therefore, Long Chen has been controlling his breath. Now when he sees the guy with the body of Tianlei, he doesn't feel him, which shows that Long Chen has done very well. Boom! Just when people were shocked by the body of Sky Thunder, the void in the distance burst into pieces. It turned out to be a small channel, but it was forcibly crowded by a mysterious force. Originally, there are 8 huge channels here, representing 8 days, and the Ming Hao Day where the Dragon Dust is located is one of them. And those small passages are small worlds that lead directly to the Emperor's heaven. Feng Yu and others rushed out of the small passages. It turns out that this is the place where all major channels converge, just like rivers and seas. This is the only way to enter the Emperor's heaven. Following the reputation of the explosion, they saw a group of huge figures rushing out of the broken void in the agitation of the evil spirit. Surprisingly, this is a group of creatures riding war horses, wearing armor and holding a spear. They are tall, more than 10 feet long, and the war horse under their crotch is very majestic. The leader is a bald man with tusks and fierce face. Say he is bald. There is still a strand of finger-thick pigtail behind his head. It looks funny, but these people look fierce and murderous. Their armor is stained with thick blood. As soon as they appear, they are killing, which suddenly reduces the temperature of the whole world. Boom! This group of people rushed out of the broken void. There were millions of people. They just rushed out. There was a strong team ahead. As a result, they were scared and fled everywhere. Some people who had no time to escape were directly trampled into powder by huge horseshoes, and countless people turned into blood fog in exclamation. Hentian clan is here. If you don't want to die, get out of the way. A group of mole ants don't stand in the way. The leader of the group, a strong man, waved his spear more than 10 feet in his hand and shouted coldly. Hentian clan? What's that? Dragon Dust was stunned. The word, hate heaven, made Dragon Dust think of hate heaven and hate earth. At the same time, he also thought of the hater in hell. But these people in front of them are not much different from those haters, but their breath is somewhat different. Die. The team was impacted by the strong man of Hentian family, and countless people died miserably. A white-robed man was angry and rushed over with a long sword. The power of destiny broke out. The power of the 9-star destiny did not retain the slightest bit, and one sword fell. No, in that team, there was a strong emperor. At first glance, he was the local strong emperor. When he saw the man's hand, he couldn't help shouting. Poof! Unfortunately, he shouted late. He saw the strong man of the Hattian family rush to the 9-star destiny and point at the spear in his hand. Poof! Above the head of the strong man of Hentian family, a 1,000-mile-long spear shadow appeared. It was the spear in his hand. The 1,000-mile-long spear shadow pierced the 9-star destiny with a loud bang. Even people with swords were stabbed into blood mist. What a powerful blow! Seeing this blow, Feng Yu can't help but be shocked. It's nothing to kill the 9-star destiny, but the man's shot pierced out and attracted the power of heaven and earth. He didn't exert any force, let alone the fluctuation of the power of destiny. Feng Yu didn't see how the blow was sent out. Cut, I say, who is so unkind. It turns out that it is a group of people. The garbage in the practice world dares to block the way of my hate Tianzu. The strong man of Hentian family sneered. At this time, he noticed that what he saw was a group of people. When the sneer of the strong man of Hentian family came out, the face of the people on the side of the Dragon Blood Corps suddenly changed. Boss Guoran looked at Longchen. The boy's mouth stinks. This time, the dragon dust was also angry. At this time, the strong man of Hentian family had an induction and looked at Longchen. Suddenly, a cruel smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, because he saw Feng Yu at a glance. Brothers, grab that girl for me. With a wave of the spear in the hand of the strong man of the Hentian family, the strong men of the Hentian family laughed. The laughter was full of obscenity and urged the war horse to rush straight to Longchen. There is a way in heaven. If you don't go, hell has no way to vote. Seeing the strong man of Hentian family killing, a cold smile appeared at the corners of Longchen's mouth, just like a god of death opening his arms to the coming person. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4758 Boom. The strong man of Hentian family suddenly changed his direction and killed Longchen directly. The target was Feng Yu around Longchen. Everyone heard the words of the leader of the Hentian family, especially Feng Yu, who was so angry that her face was livid and her phoenix gun was tightly held in her hand. Give me that guy. As soon as Feng Yu swings her long gun, she gnashes her teeth and goes through the tunnel. This guy is too arrogant. This behavior is the biggest humiliation to Feng Yu. He's very strong. Longchen was a little worried. I'm no longer the Feng Yu I used to be. I found my inheritance in the Xianling world. I know he's strong, but the road of cultivation is advancing. This is the test for me to enter the Emperor's heaven. If I can't beat her, it means that I'm not qualified to enter the Emperor's heaven at all. If I fail, please don't help me. You can help me for a while, but you can't help me for a lifetime. If you want to become stronger, you need to abandon all dependence. Only your own strength is the foundation of survival in this cruel world. The long gun of Feng Yu shook, and a loud and clear sound of the phoenix sounded. An ancient phoenix shadow appeared behind her, and endless flames rose. At this time, she was like being possessed by the ancient phoenix, rising under the mighty pressure. The brothers of the Melting Beast family were maliciously humiliated when they first entered the Emperor's heaven. Today we will use their blood to witness our glory. Seeing Fengius move, other strong men of the Melting Beast family were in hand with weapons, roared and killed them. It has to be said that the soldiers of the Melting Beast family were brave and fearless to die. Even in the face of the powerful Hadian family, they didn't shrink back at all. Seeing this scene, Guoran and others were slightly surprised. At the same time, they also had a touch of admiration in their eyes. They were as strong as him. At a glance, they could see that their strength was a little different from that of the Hentian family. Under the hard work, the Melting Beast family must suffer a heavy loss. I don't know how many people will splash blood on the spot, but they are fearless one by one, which makes the Dragon Blood soldiers feel sorry for each other. Boss Guoran looked at Longchen and Longchen said, let's give the leader to Feng Yu and let the brothers support them. It's also a way to move muscles and bones. Guoran drew out his sword and was about to shout. Longchen was not angry and said, don't join the fun in this scene. What did the boss say? I'm not trying to boost everyone's morale. Guoran was a little embarrassed. However, few people believe Guoran's words. Before, Longchen praised Guoran in front of Feng Yu. The boy's tail is going to go up to heaven. Now it's such a good opportunity. If you don't show your strength, it's not him. Brothers, teach these guys a lesson and let them know who is rubbish. Guoran shouted, holding a war knife. Kill, with Guoran's order, the dragon blood soldiers rushed out like lightning. Before, the Hention family called the Terran garbage. At that moment, the dragon blood soldiers' anger suddenly came up. Now the boss spoke. They rushed straight to the Hention family like a tiger out of the cage. "Little lady, are you coming to meet me in person?" "Ha, very good. I like to take the initiative." The leader of the Hention clan laughed at Fengyu when he saw that Fengyu was the first one to kill him, and the warhorse under his seat rushed forward. Boom! The warhorse suddenly accelerated, its hooves flew, and the void under its hooves kept exploding and collapsing. The scene was extremely frightening. No, he wants to form a charge with the help of the power of warhorses. Under the unity of man and horse, the power will reach an extreme. Fengyu will suffer a great loss and may even be killed by one blow. Bai Shishir suddenly changed her face. The warhorse under the leader of the Hention family is a terrible beast, and its strength is almost no less than that of him. Bai Shishir didn't notice it before, but when the leader of the Hention family suddenly accelerates, the heaven and earth tremble, and the power erupted, even the law will be crushed. Dragon dust, are you really not going to do it? When Bai Shishir finished, he couldn't help asking when he saw that Long Chen was motionless and his face hadn't changed. As a practitioner, I respect her choice. As she said, I can help her for a while, but not for a lifetime. She must face her own challenges. If she can't finish the challenge, it makes no difference whether she dies here or in the Emperor's heaven. Dragon Dust sighed. The leader of the Hention clan is a very powerful guy. At the moment he appeared, Long Chen had seen him through. Therefore Long Chen reminded Fengyu. But this is Fengji's choice. Long Chen has no way. All he can do is watch quietly. Dragon Dust, I'm sorry I. Seeing that Long Chen chose to stand idly by Shishir clenched cherry lips and her face was full of shame. She thought that Long Chen was afraid of her jealousy, so she chose to let go. If Fengyu died, she would never forgive herself all her life. However, halfway through her words, the jade hand was caught by Long Chen. At that moment, Bai Shishir suddenly stopped. At the moment when Long Chen held her hand, she understood Long Chen's state of mind for a moment, and a touch of relief appeared on her pretty face. Boom! At this time, the world began to shake, and the momentum of the leader of the Hention family has been rising. People borrow horsepower and horses borrow power. When he collided with Fengyu, his power reached its peak. It can be said that the leader of the hateful family has experienced many battles and is full of experience. He is almost proficient in controlling space. At this time, Guoran and others were worried. They could see that the situation was extremely unfavorable to Fengyu. It could even be said that this was an unequal battle. With 1 against 2, Fengyu suffered too much. If Miss Fengyu has something to do, he'll cut off the bastard's head and use it as a night pot. Guoran clenched his teeth. At this time, Bai Xiaole's hands quietly sealed. Long Chen looked at Bai Xiaole and shook his head. Bai Xiaole could only withdraw his hands tremblingly. Little lady, you have to fight for your anger, or you'll be stabbed to death by me. It's too boring. I want to marry you as my 48th concubine, ha. The leader of Hention family laughed wildly, and at this time his breath climbed to the extreme and his spear stabbed out. When his spear pierced out, the runes on his body and the war horse lit up. 2 different runes converged on the spear. A spear tore the heaven and earth and changed the color of heaven and earth. In the face of the leader of the Hention family whose breath has reached the peak, the ancient phoenix behind Fengyu roars up to the sky. His wings open, hundreds of millions of divine feathers are lit, and the spear in Fengji's hand stabs fiercely. If it is not successful, it will become benevolent. Boom! 1 shot and 1 spear collided with each other under the gaze of countless people. At that moment, countless people's hearts were suddenly tightened. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4759, Boom! 1 shot and 1 spear carried all the strength of the 2 people without any reservation. It was a shocking impact, and the blood gas filled the whole sky in an instant. The strong who first entered the Emperor's heaven can't adapt to the laws of the Emperor's heaven and can't use magic powers and techniques, but the power of blood is not within this limit. The duel between the two is also a duel of blood. With a startling explosion, ripples surge in the void, and the violent force forms a small light mass on the two people's weapons. At first, the light was only the size of a fist. When it appeared, it burst open, just like the sun breaking, and the violent power swallowed up the world. In the distortion of the void, a figure flew backwards out. Guo and others exclaimed. The figure that was shocked out was Fengyu. Bad, Guo shouted and held the sword tightly in his hand. If he saw Fengyu in trouble, he could ignore any agreement. He must not watch Fengyu be killed. Don't worry, Fengyu still has a chance. Long Chen grabbed Guo. Although Fengyu was shaken back, she successfully interrupted the other party's charge. On the surface, Fengyu was absolutely at a disadvantage, but in fact, Fenjia's blow proved that her strength was above the leader of Hentian family. With the power of one person, he interrupted the charge of the combination of people and horses of the other party. On this single blow, Fengyu won. However, this is not a challenge arena, and there is no referee. The gain and loss of a move is meaningless. It depends on the final result. Boom! Behind Fengyu, the wings of the ancient phoenix spread the world. Fenjia's retrogression stopped abruptly. Fengyu held a long gun and her long hair danced like a female god of war who came to the world. However, an unhealthy blush appeared on her face at this time. Although the blush flashed away, everyone could see that Fengyu was injured and she pressed down the injury temporarily with a secret method. Ah, it's really the woman I like. It's strong enough. Take me again. The leader of the Hentian clan laughed. Although the charge was interrupted, he was not hurt. The terrible impact was borne by the war horse under his seat. He clamped his legs. The war horse hissed up and stood up. Come on. Although Longshan was calm on the surface, he was also very nervous. Fengyu interrupted the charge of the leader of Hentian family. Both Fengyu and the other party were under great pressure. At this time, if you can't take the initiative, Fengyu will be pressed by the other party in the next battle, so it's difficult to turn over. But Longchen also knows that Fengyu has been injured at this time. She needs to adjust her body, but the time is fleeting. It's bad if she can't catch it. Not only was Dragon Dust nervous, but everyone in the Dragon Blood Legion held their breath. Every Dragon Blood soldier had experienced hundreds of battles and had sharp eyes. They also saw that this was the best opportunity for Fengyu to fight back. Don't hesitate, even if you don't recover your strength, you have to do it. Gu Yang was so anxious that sweat came out of his brain. Just as the leader of the Hentian clan raised his spear and immediately set up his horse, Gu Feng's big mouth behind Fengyu opened and a bloody divine sword shot out. What? The leader of Hentian family was surprised. She didn't expect that Fengyu was so strong. She directly burned her soul and urged her blood and magic. It was clear that she wanted to win or lose, even life and death. In the face of Fenjia's strange attack, the leader of Hentian family didn't dare to neglect it. He hurriedly interrupted the horse-jumping trend. The long gun in his hand was horizontal in front of him, and the divine light gushed on the long gun, covering him and his war horse together. He unexpectedly took the defensive. Obviously, even if he is as strong as him, he has to avoid his edge and dare not fight hard under Fenjia's desperate efforts. When he takes the defensive moment, a relieved smile appears on Long Chen's face. The Dragon Blood soldiers also burst into a cheer. Boom! The bloody sword hit the spear of the leader of the Hentian family and burst to pieces. At that moment, the leader of the Hentian family changed his face. The blow was powerful but light as a feather. He immediately knew that he had been cheated. He ran straight behind him with a spear. Bitch, dare to tease me and die. It has to be said that the leader of the Hentian family reacted very quickly. The spear swept the sky. As soon as Fengyu appeared, he was swept straight. Bang! With a loud explosion, in the exclamation of countless people, Fengyu was swept into powder by a spear. At that moment, the strong men of the beast family wanted to crack their eyes. What? The leader of the Hention clan, who succeeded in one blow, changed his face again. At this time, he suddenly flew up from his horse like a spring. Poof! A long gun is pierced from the belly of the horse and from the back. If the leader of the Hention clan didn't flash quickly, the gun would pierce people and horses together. Beautiful, Longchen clapped her hand. Feng Yu is really not the former Feng Yu. I don't know what she has experienced in the Xianling world. She has such a strong fighting instinct. First, he deceived the other party by burning the blood soul, so that the other party mistakenly thought that Feng Yu was going to die with him, and one blow was life and death. Deceive the opponent and take advantage of the other party's resistance to go around the other party's back to attract the other party's attention, while the original sneaked from below. This seemingly mediocre tactic was used very skillfully. Feng Yu was able to succeed mainly because of her confidence. If she hesitated in this counterattack, she could easily be seen through by the other party. This is also what Longchen admires. Feng Yu finally understands the true meaning of fighting. Only those who are not afraid of death are more qualified to live. Obviously, in terms of courage, the leader of Hention family lost. If he dared to work hard with Feng Yu would already be a corpse at this time. Feng Yu succeeded. Although she didn't kill the leader of the Hention family, the war horse was shot by Feng Yu. Fenjia's blow was cruel and hot. Although the leader of the Hention family had responded for the first time, although the man left, Fenjia's gun tip had pierced his lower body, and his blood dyed his pants red. Hey man, stop fighting. You're coming to my aunt. When Longchen saw this scene, he suddenly turned his eyes and put his hands on his mouth in a trumpet shape to remind him loudly. The leader of the Hattian clan was frightened, angry, and scared. If he reacted a little slower, he would drink hate on the spot today. Although the lower body injury is not fatal, Fenjia's long gun is attached with the power of fire, and the wound is hot and painful, and Longchen's words make his face hot. At this time, the Feng Yu spear was shocked, and the war horse turned into a bloody rain. People had gone straight to the leader of the Hention family to kill him. Die for me, the leader of the Hention clan roared, and his blood erupted like a volcano. At that moment, his breath changed sharply. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4760. In the roar of the leader of the Hention clan, the power of blood burst out. His body seemed to be inflated, rapidly enlarged, and the green tendons under his skin burst like countless small snakes swimming back and forth. At that moment, his power of qi and blood reached a terrible level, and his spear smashed at Feng Yu. Boom! Facing the full attack of the leader of Hention family, Feng Yu didn't flinch. Without hesitation, Feng gun hit out. The two magic soldiers collided again. In the disillusionment of heaven and earth, they retreated at the same time. Poof! Almost at the same time, both of them spewed a mouthful of blood. This blow hurt both sides. Seeing this scene, Longchen's hanging heart finally put down. With her experience and wisdom, Feng Yu finally moved back to her disadvantage. Previously, Feng Yu suffered a great loss with one enemy and two. She was hurt and killed the other party's warhorse. Now she is fighting hard again and sharing the benefits equally. Without the warhorse, it depends on how arrogant you are. Feng Yuling snorted, reached out and wiped the blood stains from the corners of her mouth. With a swing of her gun, Gu Feng's wings trembled behind her. People were like a startled Hong. She killed the leader of Hention family again. At this time, Feng Fei was fierce and fearless of death. He was ruthless and ruthless. Without a trace of hesitation, he was the strongest winner. Bitch, you're too happy. The leader of the Hention clan roared. At this time, he was surprised and angry. Before, he didn't pay attention to Feng Yu, but carelessly he lost his horse under his seat. The war horse of the Hention clan is their strongest pet. It can not only borrow strength, but also disperse strength. It can attack and defend when entering and retreating. The war horse is not an ordinary war horse, but a powerful spirit beast. It has signed a contract with the Hention family, so it can become their mount. The war horse itself is equal to the strength of the leader of the Hention family. The cooperation between the two is even more powerful. Once the war horse dies, the leader of the Hention family is cut off. You know, many of the secrets of the Hention family need to be completed through the cooperation of the warhorse. The warhorse grew up with him since childhood, got along with him day and night, ran in with each other, but was killed by Fengyu. The leader of the Hention family is going crazy at this time. At this time, he didn't want to get Fengyu's heart anymore. His only goal now is to break Fengyu into pieces and avenge his partner. Hate attachment and bury the common people. The leader of the Hattian clan shook his arms, and his blood gas seeped out of his pores, forming strange patterns all over his body. As soon as the pattern came out, Longchen's eyes narrowed slightly. I see, this hate heaven family belongs to the same vein as the haters in hell. However, their blood is far less pure than those haters. They need to summon the will of the haters in a special way. The Hention family should be the descendants of the haters. In the face of the change of the leader of the Hention family, Fengia's momentum did not decay, but became stronger and stronger. With a swing of her long gun, the flame on the tip of the gun rose, and the sharp spirit tore the curtain of heaven and killed the leader of the Hention family again. In the channel trial, I once met your ancestors. We can kill your ancestors, not to mention you? Fengyu drinks cold and murderous. Arrogant bitch, today I will tear you to pieces. The leader of the Hention clan gnashed his teeth and rushed towards Fengyu with a spear in his hand. Boom boom. Between the two people waving their hands, they are all desperate skills. They strive to kill each other with several moves. Each impact makes the world tremble, but for a time, no one can do anything. Fengyu is so strong, Bai Shishir couldn't help exclaiming. Yu Qingxian nodded. Her strongest place is her will and confidence. To be honest, Longchen, have you instructed her? Yu Qingxian said later and looked at Longchen. There was a joking smile on his mouth, because Fengyu's desperate play at this time was a little similar to Longchen. Longchen chuckled. I didn't teach her, but I don't know if she stole it. Of course, you can also ask her afterwards. If so, remember to collect some tuition for me. When Longchen said this, Bai Shishir and Yu Qingxian both smiled. Bai Shishi's beautiful eyes were filled with a touch of shame. Yu Qingxian was open-minded, asking openly and speaking at will, which represents absolute trust. If Bai Shishir asks about this matter, Bai Shishi's tone must be different from Yu Qingxian, and Longchen's answer will become cautious because she takes care of her mood. In this way, the taste will change completely. Looking at Longchen's heartless smile, Bai Shishir sighed in her heart. She didn't know when she became so sentimental. Fengyu fought frantically with the leader of the Hention family. The spear tore the void. Each blow was a fatal move. It looked extremely dangerous. However, at this time, the dragon dust did not worry about Fengyu at all. After several moves, the dragon dust found that Fengyu must have an adventure in the Xianling world. Not only did her strength improve by leaps and bounds, but also her heart, strategy, reaction and will improved in all aspects. As long as the leader of the Hention family's first strike is resisted, Fengia's chances of winning will be higher and higher as time goes by. Kill. Puff puff. At this time, the dragon blood soldiers had rushed to the strong men of Hention family and stopped drinking. The dragon blood soldiers summoned the dragon blood battle body. The dragon roared and the long sword startled the sky. The strong men of Hention family were beheaded one after another. At this time, the dragon blood soldiers came down the mountain like a tiger, and their sword chi was like a startling flood. They were merciless. They killed the enemy with the most fierce move. Where have the leaders of the Hate Heaven clan seen such a fierce play? Of course, they are unwilling to die with the dragon blood soldiers and take defensive positions one after another. As a result, like the leader, they immediately fell into an irreparable situation. Once they were timid, the killing moves of the dragon blood soldiers were like a rolling river, killing them without fighting back until they were defeated. The dragon blood soldiers killed wildly. Even in the face of the 9-star destiny of the powerful Hate Heaven family, they still killed each other like falling flowers and flowing water. They rushed several times and completely disrupted each other's formation. At this time, the strong men of the Melting Beast family have also surrounded the strong men of the Hattian family. Although they are not as powerful as the Dragon Blood soldiers, they are brave and fearless to die and charge madly. It was only half an hour before the strong men of the Hattian family were beheaded, and even their war horses were chopped into pieces. The scene was bloody. The strong men of the Hention clan are also very strong. Under their crazy counterattack, the Roan Beast clan also suffered a large number of casualties. However, the strong men of the Roan Beast clan didn't shrink back. Even if they didn't fight each other, they had to rush up and fight for the chance to kill each other with their own lives. As the strong men of the Hention clan were cut down one by one, even millions could not stand the crazy killing of the Dragon Blood soldiers, and the number of people fell sharply by half. The Dragon Blood warriors are so fierce that their moves are deadly. Even the 9-star destiny is mostly killed in one blow. Even the elite and strong of the Hate Heaven family can't hold up 3 moves. Dragon Blood warriors seem to be born to kill. At a glance, they can see each other's fatal weakness. The strong Hention family has only to be slaughtered in front of them. Stop it! Just then a roar came, which made people's ears buzzing. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4761. With a roar, the originally clear skies suddenly became dark. I don't know when a group of people quietly appeared on the void. The group wore black cloaks, and their heads were hidden in them, making their faces invisible. Their appearance is no different from that of the Terran, but their breath is cold and completely different from that of the Terran. They are like a black cloud covering the sky. There are only a few 100,000 people, but as soon as they appear, they feel breathless. To everyone's shock, this group of people are all 9-star destiny, and strange silver totems are embroidered on their black robes. The totems on other people's bodies are silver, but only one person's totem is gold, and the person who speaks is him. Obviously, he is the leader of this group of mysterious people. But his cold drink, but no one paid attention to him. The Dragon Blood warrior seemed to hear nothing, and waved his long sword to continue to kill. And the strong men of the Melting Beast family, seeing that the Dragon Blood soldiers did not stop, also followed the crazy fierce battle. The mysterious strong man with the golden totem on his body suddenly became angry. He shouted coldly, "I'm the Huey family. The Hention family has a little friendship with my Huey family. I hope you can sell me a face and stop immediately." The mysterious strong man with a golden totem on his body patrolled the whole audience. Suddenly, his eyes fell on Longchen. Obviously, he saw that Longchen was the leader of this group. Although he said that he was selling face and had the smell of discussion, his tone was very tough and meant to do it without face. "Sell you a face?" Longchen looked at the mysterious man, and a disdainful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. "Is your face valuable?" Hearing the tone of dragon dust, those mysterious people immediately pressed the weapon around their waist with big hands, while the mysterious strong man with golden totem on his body stopped them. He said coldly, "It seems that you don't know Huey clan, otherwise you wouldn't ask such stupid words. I ask you, where are you from?" Lingshao Academy. Longchen didn't hide it and directly reported his name. When he heard the name of Lingshao Academy, the man seemed stunned for a moment, and then said coldly, "How dare a declining academy be so presumptuous? Don't you know that Huey family has ever challenged the existence of Jiuli? Don't tell me, you haven't even heard of Jiuli." Cut. The Jiuli nationality is the strongest race in the history of the human race. Although the Purple Blood nationality and Tiantong nationality are also very popular, they claim to be the strongest race of the human race with the Jiuli nationality. In fact, everyone knows that the Jiuli nationality is the strongest race of the human race. Li Jiuxian doesn't need any other explanation. It's not enough. Jiuli, 9 days and 10 places, no one does not know the strong existence. Even if the Terran is down now, any race will be in awe when it comes to Jiuli. But in the face of the strong man of the Huey family, Longchen sniffed and said, "What I hate most is the word challenge. To put it bluntly, I once provoked the Jiuli nationality, and then was killed and fled everywhere, just surviving until now. Die, At the opening of Longchen, the strong men of the whole Hui family suddenly became angry, and the invisible killing intentions spread in an instant. Longchen's words were very impolite. I advise you not to go through this muddy water. As long as you dare to do it, I can guarantee that no one here can reach the Emperor's heaven alive. In the face of the murderous Hui family, the dragon dust is faint. Longchen really hasn't heard of the Hui clan, but Longchen's intuition can distinguish the race of these people. They should be similar to the Hunting Life clan and the Dark Night clan. The breath fluctuation of these people is extremely weak, indicating that they have extremely strong control. At first glance, it is the existence of killer type. This kind of people are proficient in assassination and have amazing lethality. However, this is nothing for the Dragon Blood Legion. In the world, they deal with the killers in the blood-killing hall. When they arrive in the fairy world, they fight with the life hunters to deal with the killers. The Dragon Blood Legion has quite rich experience. Moreover, killers can never fight head-on, so they will lose their inherent advantages. Therefore, Longchen dares to judge that these guys are here to scare people, and they dare not take action at all. If they really want to fight, they will never put on such a posture, but directly launch a surprise attack in the dark. What an arrogant tone. Then I have to learn whether your strength is as hard as your tone. The mysterious strong man with golden totem painted on his body has a cold and murderous voice. If you dare to fart one more time, you'll stay, either get out or die. Longchen is too lazy to talk nonsense with him, coldly. Poof! At this time, there was a loud noise in the distance, and the angle of view turned to Fengyu. I saw that the leader of Hentian family was shot through his thigh by Fengyu, and one thigh was shocked by Fengyu, and the blood rained all over the sky. Sure enough, everything was just as Longchen expected. Once Fengyu resisted the first blow, the balance of victory began to tilt towards Fengyu. The longer the battle, the greater the advantage of Fengyu. When the leader of the Hentian clan attacked continuously and couldn't suppress Fengyu, he was shocked to find that the battle had fallen into Fengius' control. When he was frightened, his momentum suddenly fell. When he was timid, Fengyu immediately seized the opportunity and launched a fierce attack like a storm. As a result, the leader of Hentian clan turned out to be a guy who was strong outside but weak in the middle. When he realized that his life was in danger, he suddenly became counseled. In a panic, he only blocked Feng Fei's 3 shots, and one thigh was removed by 1 shot. Ah! The leader of the Hentian clan screamed, "Come and save me." To the amazement of Longchen and others, this guy was so counseled that he called for help to his men. Didn't he know that his men were already in trouble at this time? However, even so, the strong men of the Hentian family still rushed to their leader desperately, but no matter how hard they tried, they could not break through the blockade of the Dragon Blood Legion. Before, the Dragon Blood Legion chased them everywhere. Now the Dragon Blood soldiers are in formation and just need to wait for their opponents to come to the door. Puff, puff. The Dragon Blood Legion is best at fighting in formation, not to mention the strong man of the Hentian family. Even a mosquito can't escape from their blockade. Boom! At this time, in the splash of Mars, the spear in the head of Hentian family was shocked by Fengyu, and the sharp Feng gun stabbed him in the chest. Poof! Fengia's spear pierced into the chest of the leader of Hentian family and picked up his huge body. No! Don't kill me, or you will all be killed. The leader of Hentian clan shouted in horror. Outside the gate of heaven, all the strong men of the Hentian family are there. Kill him and you'll be destroyed by the Hentian family in the Emperor's heaven. Just then, the leader of the Hui family shouted coldly. Originally, Fengia's long gun trembled and was about to kill her opponent, but when she heard their words, Fengia's face changed, and her strength condensed but didn't hair, but looked at Longchen. Kill him. I want to try and see what kind of force can destroy my Dragon Blood army. Longchen smiled and waved his big hand to Fengyu. No! The leader of the Hentian clan shouted in horror. Poof! When Fengia's long gun was shocked, the leader of Hentian family burst open. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4762 Feng Yu killed the leader of the Hentian family. At that moment, the strong men of the Hentian family roared wildly, as if they were crazy. However, no matter how crazy they were, they still couldn't stir up any waves in front of the dragon blood soldiers, and they were all killed soon. The strong man of the Hui family on the void watched the collapse of the strong man of the Hentian family. The leader was so angry that he trembled. He bit his teeth and said, "Good, very good. I'll watch you walk into the Emperor's heaven alive." The strong men of the Hui family bit their teeth and roared away. Although they were extremely angry, it can be seen that they didn't intend to carry it head-on with Longchen. In fact, they don't have such a deep friendship with the Hentian family, so they won't take risks for them. They can stand up and stop the dragon dust, which is the end of their benevolence and righteousness. In fact, the Hui clan is very strong. Guoran looked at the back of the Hui family leaving and couldn't help sighing. But everyone was stunned, because from today on, they have not only challenged the Jili people, but also our Dragon Blood Legion. From now on, there will be more glorious history in their history. Guoran is serious. The crowd couldn't help laughing. Xiachen said, however, Guoran is also right. One day, our Dragon Blood Legion will step on the top of martial arts, and they can really blow for a lifetime. That's reasonable. You said he was talking to the Jili family. Did he go away in frustration after yelling like us? Bai Xiaole patted his thigh. Everyone looked at each other. It seems that Bai Xiaole's words are reasonable. The Hui people have a big voice, but it seems that they have no other ability except talking big. Dragon dust, killing him won't cause you trouble. At this time, Feng Yu led the strong man of the melting beast family to come over. At this time, there was a touch of worry on her face. Our Dragon Blood Corps has never been afraid of trouble. If we want to stand firm in the Emperor's day, we must be ruthless. Just because this guy doesn't have eyes, let's make an example of him. Before Longchen spoke, Guoran spoke first in order to show himself. Longchen didn't care, nodded and said, Guoran is right. If you want to stand on the heels of the Emperor, you must show our tusks and let the forces there know that we are not their food. Now that we have chosen to fight for supremacy, we have no way back. Just like you just now, since we have chosen to fight, we are doomed to a life and death struggle. Don't talk about trouble or trouble. We are all gamblers with our lives. Since no one knows what tomorrow will be like, let's rush forward with our eyes closed. After listening to Longchen's words, Feng Yu nodded. At this time, Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir came over. At this time, Bai Shishir was full of admiration for Feng Yu and kept praising Fengjia's heroism. Bai Shishir is also a proud person, but in Feng Yu, she sees the determination and courage she never had. Maybe she has been guarded by her parents and the sect since childhood. She lacks the wild nature of Feng Yu. Feng Yu was embarrassed by Bai Shishir's praise and hurried to be modest. At this time, the Dragon Blood soldiers also came over. The reason why they came back late was that they had just cleaned the battlefield. They know that the bodies of these war horses are rubbish to others, but they are treasures to dragon dust. Therefore, they will never let go of the powerful Warcraft bodies in every fierce battle. They handed the collected bodies to Longchen, who directly threw them into the black soil in the chaotic space. It has to be said that these bodies are too powerful and contain more than 1,000 times the vitality of Warcraft of the same level. Not only is the vitality pure, but also comes with the power of the laws of heaven and earth. With the decomposition of the body, the power of these laws has been absorbed by the chaotic space, and the world in the chaotic space is also undergoing subtle changes. At the same time, 9-star destiny fruits have begun to bear on the Tiandao tree in chaotic space, but Longchen estimated that there are only more than 2,000, which is far from the actual number. After a little meditation, Longchen understood that among the millions of strong people who hate heaven, there are 100,000 9-star destiny people, and most of these hundreds of thousands of people are artificially created 9-star destiny people. Cut, what a waste of emotion. Longchen thought he could make a huge fortune, but he only harvested more than 2,000 9-star destiny fruits. I don't know if it's because of man-made transformation. No matter how many stars of other destiny, they can't condense the destiny fruit. Although some of them condense, the fruit is shriveled and soon falls off the tree and is swallowed up by black earth. After this war, the strong people of the melting beast family lost tens of thousands of people. However, this war, the melting beast family also killed their own momentum. After the baptism of a war, the whole team showed its sharpness. However, in this war, they also finally saw the horror of the Dragon Blood Core. If it were not for the Dragon Blood Core, they did not know how many people would survive this war. Even if they finally won, they would suffer heavy casualties. Most importantly, after a big war, they did their best, and many people were slightly overdrawn. In contrast, the soldiers of the Dragon Blood Legion were not red and breathless. After cleaning the battlefield, they returned immediately as if nothing had happened. Before, the Dragon Blood soldiers almost killed the enemy's bravery, which deeply shocked them. Originally, there were many tribal leaders in the Rong Beast family. Although they were under the hands of Fengyu, on the one hand, Fengyu was strong enough, on the other hand, they loved Fengyu. When Fengyu and Longchen were very close, they were immediately unhappy. At the same time, they also had a slight hostility to the Dragon Blood Legion. They didn't think that these thousands of people were qualified to be compared with them. According to the concept of the Melting Beast family, everything depends on strength. They have only heard of the name of Dragon Dust, but they are not convinced. They think that rumors will always be exaggerated. However, there are only a few thousand people under Longchen, and the rest are from the academy. Therefore, from their hearts, they despise Longchen and even think that Fengyu is attracted by the bag of Longchen. But after this war, they found that what is the real warrior? Compared with the Dragon Blood warriors, it is just the light of fireflies and the glory of the sun and the moon. In the same realm, there is a dimensional gap in strength. At this time, no one of the Melting Beast family dared to despise the Dragon Dust, and even felt incomparable respect for every Dragon Blood warrior. The emotional expression of the Melting Beast family is so simple and direct. Keep going. Someone is waiting for us. Don't let others wait too long. Dragon Dust smiled and waved his big hand, and everyone lined up again and galloped away. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4763. With the Dragon Dust people all the way forward, the channel in front is wider and wider, but there are more and more demons. However, these monsters did not threaten Longchen and others at all. The team moved forward and braved the wind and waves. Where they passed, the monsters turned into powder one after another. Dragon Dust tried to throw these monsters into chaotic space. Based on the principle of returning particles to the warehouse, it can't be wasted. After all, Dragon Dust is a person who can live. However, Longchen found that although the strength of these monsters is good, the vitality they can release is very limited, not to mention compared with those Tianjiao, even compared with the one-star destiny, it is far inferior. Therefore, Longchen didn't bother to waste time and energy, so he continued to rush forward with the people. As Longchen and others moved forward, they either passed by other races or were overtaken by other races. Along the way, they opened their eyes. There are all kinds of creatures here, such as 3 heads and 6 arms, animal head and human body. It's all small. It's just ordinary here. Xiaolu, your colleague, is here. As they galloped, they surpassed a group of creatures. When they saw these creatures, even with the courage of Dragon Dust, they couldn't help feeling a burst of scalp numbness. These creatures have black scales and horns on their heads. The most frightening thing for everyone is that they have 6 eyes on their bare heads, in addition to a pair of ox horns. 2 in front, 2 behind the head, and 1 on each side of the temple. This strange creature makes people look at it and get angry. Even if he is as knowledgeable as Longchen, he has never heard of this race, but Longchen's intuition tells him that this is a group of creatures who are born to practice pupil art. 6-eyed ghost owl. A group of guys who can only do bad things behind their backs. When I have a chance, I will destroy them. At first, they were affiliated forces of our 9-tail clan. Unexpectedly, justice has long arms spare none of us, but they are the first to betray us. They make the 6-eyed gods to be the eye of the golden monkey, and try to kill all 9 of my family." Xiao Jiao clenched his teeth. After listening to Xiao Jiao's words, Long Chen waved his big hand and made a gesture. The dragon blood soldiers immediately understood that a person, like lightning, rushed straight to the 6-eyed ghost owl family. "Boss." At that moment, the little fox was stunned. "Don't talk nonsense. Since it's a deep blood feud, what are you waiting for? You rush first. Don't worry about killing me boldly. Well, be your backing." Dragon Dust Road. The little fox didn't expect that the dragon dust should be so direct. This is to give it a head. While moving, the killing intention hidden in the bottom of his heart broke out in an instant. "What do you mean? Terran, do you want to die? Do you know who we are?" When the dragon blood soldiers put into formation and surrounded hundreds of thousands of strong people of the 6-eyed ghost owl family, the strong people of the 6-eyed ghost owl family immediately stopped and looked at the people coldly. The head of the 6-eyed ghost owl is similar to that of the human race. It also has a nose and a mouth, but it has no ears. It looks terrible with 6 eyes looking around. 6-eyed ghost owls come all the way, and no force dares to disturb them. Even many people don't know the name of 6-eyed ghost owls, but just look at their appearance, you know they are not good people and hide far away. You're just a bunch of mean and stupid idiots with 6 empty eyes, but you're still short-sighted. Just then, Bai Xiaole's figure appeared in front of the strong people of the 6-eyed ghost owl family. When Bai Xiaole appeared, the strong people of the 6-eyed ghost owl family looked indifferent and indifferent. However, when they saw the little fox on Bai Xiaole's shoulder, their 6 eyes stared like a copper bell for a moment, and their pupils shrank into the tip of a needle. "You! How can it be? The 9-tailed clan has completely become extinct. Who are you?" The strong men of the 6-eyed ghost owl clan trembled, as if they saw what they feared most. "You traitors are not dead. How can the great 9-tailed clan disappear?" The little fox looked at the strong man of the 6-eyed ghost owl family in front of him. There were blood lines in his purple pupil, and his killing intention soared into the sky. "Haha, it's great that we can still find the legacy of the 9-tailed family, and it's still purple pupil. It should be the royal blood of the 9-tailed family. Take it." In the 6-eyed ghost owl family, after recovering from shock, a powerful man with golden horns suddenly looked up and laughed. Suddenly, his hands closed and his 6 eyes closed at the same time. At the moment when his eyes closed, the scales on his body suddenly peeled off from his body. Buzz, endless scales are flying. When you look carefully, the scales are sharp and unparalleled. They are scale weapons. When the scales fall off, the strong 6 eyes of the 6-eyed ghost owl family open their eyes. Boom! The endless scales gathered together to form a huge sword and went straight to the little fox. This sword is as fast as lightning and extremely powerful. It is almost completed in the blink of an eye from the move to the sword finger of the little fox. Even if the whole god is on guard, there is no time to respond. This is the terrible part of pupil surgery. The operation method of pupil actuation is almost instantaneous and does not give the other party time to respond at all. Buzz, as soon as the silver shield appeared, the owl suddenly appeared without a silver shield. Boom! The black sword collided with the silver shield, and a startling noise broke out. The silver and black scales danced and tore the void. This boy has some skills. Seeing that Bai Xiaole can control this spirit soldier so quickly, Bai Zhantong can't help but be elated. It seems that this boy has secretly worked a lot of hard work during this period, otherwise he can't use this spirit soldier at will. Try my move again. Ah! The strong man of the 6-eyed ghost owl family sneered, the strange symbols in his eyes circulated, and the scattered black scales quickly gathered. At this time, it suddenly gave a sad scream. I don't know when, behind it, stood a huge fox. Its big mouth bit it silently. Poof! The sharp teeth bit the strong man of the 6-eyed ghost owl into 2 parts, but the little fox didn't kill him. His big mouth opened. In the shrill scream of the strong man of the 6-eyed ghost owl, he was forcibly bitten into pieces by the little fox. At this time, The strong men of the six-eyed ghost owls finally roared and attacked at the same time. However, at the moment of their attack, 6 petals appeared in the purple pupil of the little fox. 6 kills, puff puff. The heads of the strong men of the six-eyed ghost owl family burst open one after another. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4764. Under the operation of the little fox's pupil, the 6 petals in his eyes burst open at the same time. At that moment, the little fox's eyes instantly spilled blood. At that moment, Bai Xiaola was stunned, and even the dragon blood soldiers were stunned. This skill killed all the strong people of the six-eyed ghost owl family. Xiaojiao, what are you doing? We work together. You don't have to be hurt at all. Now, your eyes need to rest for a period of time. Bai Xiaola is anxious, angry, and distressed. Only he knew how much counterattack Xiaojiao would bring after he showed this move. He had already cooperated with Xiaojiao to kill these people together, but he didn't expect Xiaojiao to solve it by himself. Revenge, after all, comes more happily with your own revenge. Xiaojiao's eyes were full of blood. His face was ferocious and terrible. He gnashed his teeth and said, "These despicable fools have forgotten the soul contract they signed when they surrendered to my nine-tailed clan. As long as my nine-tailed clan is immortal, the contract will never disappear. As long as I use my original eyes, they are a group of mole ants in front of me." It turned out that the six-eyed ghost owls, as a subsidiary of the nine-tailed family, handed over a trace of soul and signed a contract of eternal surrender in order to show their loyalty. This contract has always been in the souls of both sides. When facing the nine-tailed clan, the six-eyed ghost owl will be suppressed by the soul and only die. However, this contract also has certain limitations, that is, when the two are relative, the contract will take effect. Because of this, when the six-eyed ghost owl betrayed the nine-tailed clan, he did not directly participate in the confrontation, but stabbed him in the back. They sold all the intelligence of the nine-tailed clan. At the same time, the six-eyed ghost owl clan has an extremely powerful tracking technique. They can conduct anti-tracking according to the soul contract to lock the position of the nine-tailed clan. In this way, when the nine-tailed clan is pursued and killed, they become unable to escape. No matter where they hide, they will be found. It can be said that countless strong people of the nine-tailed clan died in the hands of the six-eyed ghost owl clan. Therefore, Xiaojiao hated them so much. Originally, Xiaojiao had endured for countless years. Although his enemies were particularly jealous when they met, Xiaojiao knew that with its strength, it was not time for revenge. Because one could not be done well, it would affect everyone, so he decided to continue to endure. But he can bear it, but Longchen doesn't want to. Although he doesn't spend much time with Xiaojiao, Longchen can wear a strong surface from Xiaojiao and see its inner pain and anger. Now the small 9 as like as 2 peas in the dragon and the dust. When the Phoenix Ming Empire was down, the dragon dust was called, not to be called every day, but it was hard to endure. Only if he knew how to endure, what a painful thing it was. Dragon dust doesn't want to experience that kind of pain anymore. Similarly, Xiaojiao is also a member of the Dragon Blood Corps, that is, his brother. He will never allow his brother to suffer this kind of torture. "Thank you, boss." When Longchen came over, Xiaojiao thanked Longchen. Because he was too excited, his voice trembled. "Are your eyes all right?" Longchen asked with concern. Longchen can understand Xiaojiao's behavior. Although he was hurt, his anger was finally vented. For him, it's all worth it. It's all right. In order to avoid the chase and the surveillance of the six-eyed ghost owl, all the people of our nine-tailed family are hidden in the cracks of the world and can't form a blood call. Therefore, I use the power of the contract to hurt the enemy 1,000 and lose 800 from myself. However, it's really enjoyable. Thank you, boss. Xiaojiao was excited and thanked Longchen again. Although it knows that Longchen doesn't like others to be polite to him, it really doesn't know how to express its gratitude to Longchen at this time. It's hard for you to bear humiliation at a young age. Bai Xiaola sighed. For the first time, he knew that Xiaojiao was bearing so much hatred. "You're not bad. You've endured humiliation and burden for so long. You can't make it until the boss comes. Xiao Jiao shrinks down and jumps onto Bai Xiaole's shoulder again. How can I bear humiliation? Bai Xiaole was stunned, and Long Chen, Bai Shishir and others didn't know why. The little fox suddenly had a bad smile on his face and said, "You are beaten by your father every day, but you can't beat it. You can't win by scolding. You accept adversity, live like a year, and wash your face with tears. Hey, you little fox, you are full of bad water. Don't destroy our father-son relationship." Bai Zhantong couldn't help being anxious as he listened. It's also the same thing. The first mock exam of the Chinese Qin was white, but when he saw the silver ball in his hand, he was very happy. However, he gave me such a good thing. I forgive him, hee. Obviously, Bai Xiaole likes this spirit soldier very much. Under the control of pupil technique, there are endless changes and fun. He has long forgotten those things in the past. You're really promising. The little fox said silently. This guy doesn't take revenge at all. Boom. The six-eyed ghost owls had just been killed here, and a powerful team roared away. It was a group of big demons, but they turned into human shapes. We couldn't see what race it was, but it was so bloody that we couldn't underestimate it. Originally, the dragon blood soldiers stopped the way of the six-eyed ghost owls. There were many running forces around. They all slowed down and planned to see the excitement. But unexpectedly, the little fox killed all the strong men of the six-eyed ghost owl family alone. At that moment, they were shocked. At the same time, they accelerated to leave for fear of being affected. And a team of demons whistling past did not see the picture of the six-eyed ghost owl being killed, ran on their own. All the armies roared and sped by, as if nothing had happened, and the Dragon Blood Legion immediately joined the team and continued to gallop forward. Walking through endless demons and monsters, the blood gas permeated the whole world. I don't know whether this is the prelude for the Emperor to let everyone know that the Emperor's road to hegemony began with bloody killing. Soon, a light suddenly appeared in front. With the running of the people, the light became more and more prosperous, like a ray of dawn in the endless darkness. Through the light, you can feel a strong call. There is the Emperor! Guoran and others shouted excitedly, and it was not only them who were excited. Countless teams rushed here and saw the dawn ahead. They also shouted excitedly, which swept the sky like a tsunami. In this cry, with high spirits and infinite vision, the door is the dream of countless people. Something's wrong. Why is someone blocking the way in front of the door? Suddenly, Guoran was stunned. Before he found the gate, countless figures gathered together, as if they were checking something. At this time, a smile appeared on Long Chen's face. Brothers, today we are going to kill the Emperor. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Calm that you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.